the 31st game of the NYCBL season for the Onondaga Flames. Let's give you the starting lineup for the visiting Syracuse Silkcats. Leading off in center field is Adam Holland, batting second at second base, Xander Ferlenda. Batting third in left field, Sean Lawler. Batting fourth in right field, Taylor Fajardo. Batting fifth, the designated hitter Matthew Nurs. Batting sixth, the third baseman Christian Nakari. Batting seventh, the first baseman Patrick Miner. Batting eighth, the shortstop Michael Ray. And batting ninth behind the dish is Dylan Nolan. They'll be facing Mike Netzel on the mound for the Onondaga Flames. He's had a good bit of success so far this season. He's got an 0-run record, but his ERA is well below 4 at 3.66. 23 strikeouts in 4 games. 3 of them starts. His last outing was on the 4th of July against the Rome Generals, where he went 6 innings, allowing only 1 earned run, and gave up 5 hits, only 1 walk, and struck out 7 en route to a 3-2 Flames win. Adam Holland stepping in to lead off the game for the Syracuse Silkcats. Wind blowing out to right field. It's 7:02 Eastern Standard Time. That'll mark the beginning of this contest. Holland steps into the batter's box. Holland out of Rutgers University. Heading into today, hitting a barely above 200. And Netzel set, winds, and let's do it here at OCC Stadium. First pitch, a fastball high above the zone. It counts 1-0 to start it off to Adam Holland. Quickly, the defensive alignment for the Onondaga Flames. Left to right in the outfield, it's Mike Stefan, Jack Cherno, and Cullen Matthews. 1-0 pitch here to Holland is ripped into right center field. That one's going to drop in front of Matthews for a base hit. Adams Holland's on first for the Syracuse Silkcats, and they have a runner on with nobody away. The rest of the defensive alignment, right to left in the infield. First base, it's Corbin Paxton. Second base, Brian Hart. Shortstop, Jake Evans. At third base, it's A.J. DiFilippo. And behind the dish, calling balls and strikes, it's Joe Navenchi. And that brings up Xander Ferlenda after Holland leads off the inning with a single. Ferlenda heading into today, the St. Bonaventure University product, hitting .318. Last outing against the Onondaga Flames, he went 1 for 2, driving in 2 runs on a single. First pitch to him, Ferlenda shows bunt, pulls back, but it's a cold strike on the outside corner, and he's behind in the count 0-1. Holland a threat to steal on second base. He's got 10 stolen bases on the year. He's only been caught stealing twice. Middle infield playing close to the second base back, anticipating a stolen base attempt. Also the double play possibility open for the Flames on defense. Netzel working from the stretch, the 0-1. Ferlenda puts it down the first base line. Running to it is Netzel. He flips it over to first in time for the first out. Holland advances to second, so it's a successful move-up attempt by the Syracuse Silkcats. The runner gets to second, and there's 1 away in the inning. And that brings up the left fielder, Sean Lawler, heading into today, hitting .298. The Flagler College product, one of the better hitters on this Silkcats team. He's a left-handed hitter against the righty Netzel. Infield shifting to the right. Second baseman Brian Hart playing in shallow right field while Jake Evans shaded closer to the second base bag. And the third baseman A.J. DiFilippo playing closer to the 5.5 hole. Netzel looking back at second base, first pitch. Ripped down the left side, but well foul out of play. And so behind in the count, 0-1 early on, Sean Lawler against the starting pitcher, Mike Netzel. Netzel heading into this outing, very successful in his last outing for the Onondaga Flames. As I mentioned, 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run, only 5 hits, 7 strikeouts. He's been on a tear like that all year. He's mostly a closing pitcher back at school in California. He goes to Occidental College, a D3 program. He's also been one of the team's best hitters this year. He's in the lineup for the Onondaga Flames. He's hitting second today, acting as the DH as well. So there is no effective DH for the Flames tonight. On the 0-1, Lawler lays it down, but it goes all the way past the infield down the left field line. And it's foul. A bunt attempt goes almost into the outfield, but it's foul out of play. And so the count's 0-2. Lawler stepping back into the batter's box. Still no score here in the top of the first. A runner on second base with 1 away. Netzel peeks back at second base. Evans covering closely. 0-2. Fastball misses high and outside, so the first ball in this count here to Sean Lawler, it's 1-2. Lawler's been very good at drawing walks this season. He's struck out 17 times, but a lot more walks, 26 heading into today, so it's very possible he could work this count here as Mike Netzel might look to throw some junk pitches. 1-2. Off speed, chopped up the middle. A diving attempt by Hart's no good. That's through for a base hit. Coming around third is Holland. He's going to score. It's an RBI single for Sean Lawler, and the Saltcats on the board in the top of the first. It's 1-0.
The right fielder, number 24, Taylor.
Saltcats getting out in front early in this one. That seems to be the problem for the Flames. They're allowing a lot of runs early, and now a big power threat in Taylor Fajardo, who went deep on a solo shot to right field the last time these two teams played. It would be the only hit of the ball game for him, as he would end up 1 for 4. Well, that run itself did plenty of damage in the ball game. As now Sean Lawler's leading off of first base. And that's a looking back. First pitch to Taylor Fajardo is a swinging strike, and the count's 0-1. Lawler on first base, also a threat to steal, a perfect 5 for 5 on the year in stolen base attempts. The right-handed hitting Fajardo against the righty Netzel. Middle infielders crowding towards second base, anticipating a steal or a double play opportunity. 0-1's again, cut on and missed. Taylor Fajardo couldn't get around on that fastball, and he's behind in the count, 0-2. Fajardo, possibly one of the most aggressive hitters in the league. He hit that one home run against the Saltcats last time. He hadn't had a lot of luck until then, mostly trying to swing for the moon, hitting very hard swings, but not making a lot of contact, and he doesn't make any more there as he swings and misses on strike 3. He goes down on strikes, the first strikeout of the night for Mike Netzel, and there's 2 away in the top of the first for Matthew Nurz, one of the weaker hitters on this ball club, a second-year player for the Saltcats, hitting just barely over 170 heading into today. He comes up to bat with 2 away, runner on first base. Saltcats out early to a 1-0 lead. Nurz, a righty, taking on the righty Netzel on the mound. First pitch, a breaking ball, misses outside and in the dirt, so the count's 1-0 to Matthew Nurz to start off this at-bat. Nurz looking to keep the inning alive with Christian Nakari, the third baseman, waiting on deck. Big lead over at first base for Sean Lawler. A pickoff attempt over at first is no good, and getting back there in time is Lawler. He had to get dirty on that one, but he was able to get back without too much trouble.
Let's go, Mike!
So still no pitches thrown here in this at-bat to Matthew Nurz, actually a 1-0 count. And another pickoff attempt over at first base as Lawler was playing happy feet over at first base. Not a big lead, but sort of taunting Mike Netzel on the mound, trying to get him to pick over and possibly just make a mental mistake, something the Flames have made a lot of over the past few games. 1-0 from Netzel. Shows bunt, pulls back, and the count's now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes here to Matthew Nurz. As now Nurz still trying to keep this inning alive. The Saltcats have a runner on base. 2 away, 2-0 count. Extended signals from the third base coach for the Saltcats. And now Lawler finally taking his lead off the bag. Netzel from the stretch. 2-0 fastball misses high, so 3 balls and no strikes here to Nurz, who's on the verge of walking here, and that would give the Saltcats 2 runners on with 1 in scoring position with 2 away here against the Flames in the top of the first. 3-0, runner goes. Fastball catches the outside corner for strike 1. The throwdown is not there in time, and Sean Lawler gets in there with his 6th stolen base of the year. So now a 3-1 count to Matthew Nurz. The dynamic changes a little bit as now a single could bring home the run. Netzel looks back at second. 3-1. Off speed just catches the upper third of the zone. Nurz was getting ready to walk over to first base, but he'll have to step back in the batter's box. The count's full at 3-2. Netzel trying to escape the inning without allowing any more damage, already surrendering a run and 2 hits. A runner in scoring position behind him, the payoff. chopped on the ground towards third, fielded on the easy hop by A.J. DiFilippo. He shoots it over to first in time for the final out at the top of the first, but not until the Saltcats get out in front early in this one. It's 1-0 Saltcats heading into the bottom of the first.
Fans, I'd just like
The Flames getting ready to take their first licks in the bottom of the first. Let's give you the Onondaga Flames starting lineup. Leading off is Jack Chernow playing center field, batting second. The pitcher slash designated hitter, Mike Netzel, batting third. The second baseman, rather. Usually a third baseman, but playing second tonight, Brian Hart. Batting fourth in right field, Kellen Matthews. Batting fifth, the third baseman, A.J. DiFilippo. Batting sixth, the catcher, Joe Navenci. Batting seventh, the left fielder, Mike Stefan. Batting eighth, first baseman, Corbin Paxton. And batting ninth, playing shortstop, is Jake Evans. And now Jack Chernow getting ready for his first at-bat of the ball game. A lefty against the right-handed pitching Justin Hurley, who heads in today, one of the better pitchers on this roster. He's had a couple of outings against this Onondaga Flames team with mixed success. The first outing came in the very first game of the season. Went one inning, allowing 4 earned runs, only striking out 1 on 2 hits, 4 walks, and that was a 6-2 loss for the Saltcats. The next one, though, on the 26th of June, 5 innings pitched, only 1 earned run, as the first pitch of the inning to Jack Chernow was a fastball high and outside. The count's 1-0. No decisions on the year for Hurley, as he deals the 1-0, which is a called strike on the bottom third, and the count evens up at 1-1. The third baseman, Christian Nacardi, encroaching on the infield grass. Fastball catches the outside corner. Chernow behind in the count, 1-2. Chernow heading into today's ball game, hitting just above 300. And the 1-2 is skied on the left side, out of play. And so the count's going to stay at 1-2 on Chernow, facing the 5th pitch of this at-bat. Chernow, again, a great hitter. Last time against the Saltcats, went 1 for 3, walked twice, struck out once. And the 1-2 is chopped on the ground towards the second base side, picked up off the mound by Hurley. He underhands it to first in time for the first out of the inning. And that brings up Mike Netzel for his first at-bat. Interesting dynamic with Mike Netzel. Every single time he's pitched as of late, he's also been in the batting order, which is a little bit strange for the NYCBL because he's put in there as the DH, but you don't really have the designated hitter. So once Mike Netzel leaves the ball game, if you put in a substitute pitcher, he's in the batting order. And the first pitch is a fastball on the outside corner, and the count's 0-1. And the thing with Netzel is, last time he was on the mound on the 4th of July against Rome, it was a similar situation, as the 0-1's crushed into left field, but taking a few steps back and getting under that one is Sean Lawler. He makes the catch for the first out. The wind blowing to the right side here probably caused that one to die down a bit. So 2 away here in the bottom of the first inning, and that brings up Brian Hart for his first plate appearance. He's heading into today a better hitter than a lot of the players on this ball club. Not the best average, but a very big clutch factor. 21 RBIs, tied for the team lead as he's hitting .276 heading into today. The first pitch to him from Hurley is a fastball that's sky down the right side, out of play, and so he's behind in the count 0-1. Brian Hart, the Bryant University product, has played in the most games in the batting lineup for the Flames this season of any player on the team. 0-1 is ripped into left field again. That one deeper, going to the wall on the warning track, leaping up. He makes the catch. Sean Lawler at the warning track has to take a little bit of a jump, but he's able to bring in the ball for the final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no one left on base. A couple big shots, but nothing doing here for the Flames heading into the top of the second, so they still trail 1-0. It'll be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters leading off the top of the second inning for the Syracuse Saltcats. They're out 1-0 in front over the Onondaga Flames through an inning of play. And it's Christian Nakari up first for the Saltcats. Netzel out for his second inning. And the first pitch fastball is skied in the infield. Drifting under that one, taking a few steps to his left is Brian Hart. And he makes the catch for the first out. Quick out number 1 for the Onondaga Flames. Didn't come as easily in the last inning. Giving up a single to Adam Holland, he would come around to score. And now that brings up Patrick Miner, the first baseman. He enters today, not one of the best consistent hitters on this ball club, but still a good hitter nonetheless. He's shown power. He has a home run to his name as the first pitch hits him, and he's going to walk down to first base. That one got a good piece of his hand, and he's leaning over, grabbing his wrist. He is not feeling good. Slow walk over to first from Patrick Miner. And so now it'll be Michael Ray up to bat. He's stepping into the batter's box. He'll be a righty again against the righty Mike Netzel. Patrick Miner also a righty. He's still grabbing his arm over there down the first baseline, talking to his first base coach. Play is not in as the conversation continues. He is not standing on the bag. So the game in a little bit of a lull now as they decide whether to keep him in the ball game. Coach might be signaling he got his funny bone. Not exactly sure, but either way, Patrick Miner staying in the ball game, taking off his gloves on the first base bag, and Michael Ray getting the sign from his third base coach, getting ready to step into the batter's box. Michael Ray recently replaced Mike Gorman as the everyday shortstop for this ball club, and he's been doing a pretty good job at it. Michael Ray hitting .317 on the year. Last time against the Flames, he went 1 for 4, scoring a run. He puts down a bunt right back in front of the plate, picked up by Navenchi. He throws it to first just in time to the left side of the first base bag, and that sets the runner down 2 away here in the top of the second inning. Runner advances to second, but now with 2 away, there is a runner in scoring position and a chance to bring in a run here again for the Saltcats. Now it's Dylan Nolan.
The catcher, number 14, Dylan Nolan.
Nolan heading into this ballgame, sharing catching duties with a few of the other players, including Matthew Nurs and Isaac Porter. Nurs playing designated hitter tonight. Nolan hitting .156 on the year, the Wells College product. Very often goes out there with his battery mate from school in Zach Kemp. The first pitch, this is just inside on the fastball, count 1-0. Nolan's seen a bit of action against this Flame squad. Last game out, he came in as a pinch hitter, went 0 for 1, but came around to score, also walked twice. 1-0. Off speed, misses high, doesn't quite break into the zone, and the count's 2 balls and no strikes to Dylan Nolan. Nolan trying to get something done here for the Saltcats, extend the lead as they have a 1-0 cushion. A 2-0 count on him, 2 away, a runner on second base. Netzel working out of the stretch, looks back at second, 2-0. Chopped on the ground towards first base, fielded on the hop by Corbin Paxton. He takes it to the back himself, just ahead of the runner, and that gets the final out of the inning, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, 1 man left on base at the end of an inning and a half of play. Flames still down 1-0. Heart of the order due up for the Onondaga Flames. Cullen Matthews, AJ DiFilippo, and Joe Navenchi going to come up this inning for the Onondaga Flames. And Patrick Miner thought about going out there to first base, but he's going to get pulled back into the dugout. He got hit in the elbow in the last inning, and so he's coming out of the ball game. Coming in to play first base from left field is Sean Lawler, and running out to play left field for the Syracuse Saltcats look like it's going to be Chris Coates. So a little bit of a double switch here, as the defensive replacements have now been made, and Matthews getting ready to come up to bat. Matthews stepping into the box as Lawler finally comes out of the dugout with his first base mitt, and play is set to resume here in the bottom of the second after the short delay for the defensive replacement. Hurley out for his second inning of work. Allowed a couple deep shots last inning that didn't amount to too much, as the first pitch is an off-speed that catches the zone and the count's 0-1. Time is called, and Colin Matthews steps out of the box. Matthews getting in a good groove this season. He hadn't played any baseball in over 18 months before coming here to play for the Flames. The 0-1. Fastball misses inside, brushes Matthews back off the plate, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Matthews tore his UCL his senior year of high school in the fall, missed the entire senior year, redshirted this year at Kent State, and the 1-1, a breaking ball in the dirt, so the count's now 2 balls and a strike. And Matthews getting in a groove here, hitting well above 300 for the Flames. He's made 1 pitching appearance. He is a two-way player. He was at least back in high school. He might become one back at Kent State. That has yet to be determined. The 2-1 fastball just catches the inside corner. Brushed Matthews off the plate a little bit, but it caught a piece of the zone, and now the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The righty Matthews against the righty Hurley, the 2-2. Ripped down the left field line, a diving stop by Nakari's no good. That goes into the corner. Rounding first base is Matthews. He's going for 2. The throw into second base is way late, and Matthews is in there with a stand-up double. Stand-out double to lead off the inning for the Onondaga Flames. Matthews stands on second with nobody out. And the left-handed hitting A.J. DiFilippo going up to the plate for a lefty-righty matchup against Hurley, who just allowed his first hit of the ball game, an extra base hit, a double to be exact, to Colin Matthews. Continues a pattern for Colin Matthews. That's now his fourth double of the season. And A.J. DiFilippo clutch at bringing in runs, tied for the team lead in RBIs with 21 so far this year. Corner infielders playing in, anticipating a possible bunt attempt. Pitcher looks back 2-2. Pitch misses low, and the count's 1-0 here to A.J. DiFilippo. DiFilippo crowding the box a little bit. Christian Nakari playing both feet on the infield grass. Toes, heels, and all. Hurley looking back at second. Both middle infielders guarding closely, and he'll step off, forcing Matthews back to the bag. One-0. Fastball misses just outside. Count 2-0 to A.J. DiFilippo here with nobody out in the bottom of the second inning. Flames trailing 1-0, but a runner in scoring position. A base hit could bring him around to score. Hurley looks back. 2-0. Chopped on the ground towards second. That'll advance the runner. Fielded easy by Ferlenda. Flips over to first in time to get the out. So one away here in the bottom of the second, but now Matthews is 90 feet away from scoring on third. And that brings up Joe Navenchi, who hasn't had a clutch moment yet. He's only been with the Flames for 3 games, but a chance to do something big here as the high school senior who recently graduated from Shenandoah High School and getting ready to attend Canisius College in the fall gets his first taste of big action against big-time competition. Could get some good stats against college competition heading into the fall.
Joe Navenchi.
So far in his limited time in play, hitting .250 through 3 games. Nothing of note in terms of major hits. He's 1 for 4, 1 strikeout. Third baseman again playing in. First pitch and off speed, catches the outside corner. He's behind in the count, 0-1. Both corner infielders playing in. Third baseman Nakari playing a little bit closer as the right-handed Navenchi sees the 1. It's chopped on the ground towards short. This will bring home the run. The throw over to first is in time from the shortstop Michael Ray. That is an out. There's 2 away, but the Flames bring around the first run. It's a tie ball game, 1-1 here at OCC Stadium. And now with the bases emptied after the RBI ground out and 2 away, that brings up Mike Stefan. Joe Navenchi gets out of that at-bat with his first RBI of the year. And Mike Stefan, a lefty, actually a switch hitter batting from the left-handed batter's box against Justin Hurley. The first pitch misses low below the knees, and the count's 1-0. Hurley working quickly here, the 1-0. Stefan shows bunt, pulls back, misses high, so the count's 2 balls and no strikes. Infield shifted here just ever so slightly. Ferlenda playing in the outfield grass. 2-0, misses in the dirt again, so a 3-0 count here to Stefan with 2 away. It's now a tie ball game, and the Sulkheads are in danger of allowing a runner on base with 2 outs in this tie ball game early in the bottom of the second. 3-0. Fastball just catches the outside corner, and the count moves to 3-1 on Stefan. Stefan has progressed quite rapidly this season, starting very slow. And the 3-1 misses inside for ball 4. He walks over to first. And now there's 2 outs and a runner on base for Corbin Paxton. Not very clutch in terms of the plate, in terms of consistent contact, but still a lot of RBIs to his name so far. 9 on the season through 19 games played. And he'll have a chance to drive in Mike Stefan with an extra base hit here and also just keep the inning alive. Paxton, a left-handed hitter against the righty Corbin Paxton. Short lead off of first for Stefan. A pickoff attempt's no good. He's back in there safely. Still no count here to Corbin Paxton. Tie ball game in the bottom of the second. 2 away, runner on first. First pitch from Hurley, misses inside, gets behind Dylan Nolan. Advancing to second on the wild throw is Mike Stefan. So now a runner in scoring position for the Flames. and a single could bring him around the score. Paxton taking a second after a quick mound meeting between Hurley and Nolan. Paxton a chance to drive in his 10th run of the year. Facing a 1-0 count. Now a runner in scoring position with 2 away in this tie ball game in the bottom of the second. 1-0. Skied foul to the left side, and so the count moves to 1-1. Mike Stefan on the base paths, 2 for 2 on stolen bases of the year. Unlikely he tries to steal third base in this situation where just a base hit could give the Flames the lead. And time is called as there's a mound meeting between the catcher and pitcher, Dylan Nolan and Justin Hurley. Corbin Paxton out of Lake Erie College. Came here with his teammate Trace Peterson, has had a good bit of playing time. Hasn't really found a consistent bat yet this season. Still hitting just at 200 heading into today. He's got a few extra base hits, though. He can come in clutch. 2 triples to his name, a double and a home run. That home run coming last Monday against the Sherrill Silversmiths. And he steps back into the batter's box facing a 1-1 count. Stefan taking a short lead off of second base. Michael Ray guarding him close to the bag. 1-1. Fastball just misses inside, so 2 balls and a strike to Corbin Paxton. A better hitter's count here as the Flames trying to take the lead. Stefan, a growing lead at second base. Pickoff attempt, no good. Michael Ray makes the catch over the bag, but no tag attempted as Stefan got in there ahead of the throw. And the focus now back to Corbin Paxton facing a 2-1 count in this lefty-righty matchup. Hurley looking back at second base. He deals the 2-1. Fastball's ripped into center field. That one very shallow in the field. Drifting back on that one is Michael Ray. He takes a good amount of steps back and makes the catch in shallow center for the final out of the inning. Flames get a run on the board. It's now a tie ball game, 1-1. Top of the order due up for the Syracuse Selcats this inning. The top of the third. Mike Netzel out for his third inning of work. The righty-righty matchup. First pitch, a curveball, a cold strike over the middle, and Holland behind in the count, 0-1. Netzel's gone through 2 innings, allowing 1 earned run on 2 hits. And the 0-1's grounded softly over to third. A bad attempt to field by DiFilippo, but he recovers in time to shoot it over to first for out number 1. A bobbled field there by DiFilippo over beside the third base bag, but he's able to recover in time for the out. So 1 away here in the top of the third inning, and Xander Ferlenda coming up to bat. He grounded out right back to the pitcher on a failed bunt attempt last time. Ferlenda, the St. Bonaventure University product, one of the all-star representatives for the Selcats. as the first pitch is a cold strike. The fastball on the outside corner, and the count's 0-1. Mike Netzel is a pitcher that loves to paint the corners. He likes to go inside, outside on a lot of hitters. Try to mix things up with his location. And that one, an inside fastball. That one just missed above the zone, though, and the count's 1-1. It's an interesting approach that a lot of pitchers on this Flames squad take, that they try to hit both corners with their first two pitches, both on fastballs, and they try to deliver a curveball with the third, and he delivers one right there, and that one's a cold strike over the middle, and Frolenda behind in the count, 1-2. One away in the top of the third inning. 1-1 ball game, 1-2 count to Frolenda. And the 1-2 is a breaking ball badly gripped by Netzel. Misses outside and in the dirt. Eventually able to keep it in front of him. The count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Netzel getting a little more comfortable there on the mound. A wild pitch there. And the 2-2 is rocketed into right center field. That one drops between the right center and second baseman. And that falls for a base hit. A single here on an inside-out swing from the second baseman for Frolenda. And now a runner on first with one away for the Sulcats. It's Sean Lawler due up after singling in the first and driving in the first run of the ballgame. Third hit allowed for Mike Netzel. He has a very short memory span on the mound. He's told me about his approach of trying to forget things. And now Lawler, the lefty, against the right-handed throwing Mike Netzel. And runner off of first base is Xander Frolenda. First pitch, a fastball. Lawler shows button, pulls back. That one misses below the zone, and the count's 1-0. Lawler, after the single, he stole second base, but got stranded there after Taylor Fajardo struck out swinging, and Matthew Ners grounded out to third. Infield shift on here for the left-handed hitting Lawler, and the 1-0 is a fastball that misses inside this time, and the count's 2-0. Lawler, a productive hitter, hitting .298 on the year. And Frolenda on first base, a major threat to steal, 9 for 12 on stolen base attempts so far this season. 2-0, off-speed, catches the inside corner. And sometimes when Mike Netzel falls behind on some of his pitches, he uses the others to get back in a groove. The count's now 2-1 to Lawler, as it's a tie ball game, 1-1 in the top of the third. Runner on first, one away. Short lead off of first base for Xander Frolenda. A pickoff attempt as he was looking to go, and it just gets back in there ahead of the throw. Onondaga Flames dugout very upset about that call. They thought he was gunned down, but instead he's back in there safely at first base. Home plate umpires calling time as tension settled down here. Flames unhappy with the call. Thought that that Frolenda had been gunned down at first base. Another short lead off of first base for Frolenda, but as we see last time, he could well try to steal. And the 2-1 skied foul to the left side. Count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. As Lawler steps back into the box. Not a major shift here from the infield this time. Third baseman shaded closer to the shortstop position, but everyone else positioned normally. And the throw over to first again, not in time. Netzel trying to keep Frolenda close to the bag there. It's a 2-2 count here to Sean Lawler. Still a tie ball game in the top of the third. One away. Double play opportunity still available to the defense here for the Flames. 2-2, still a pickoff attempt here from Mike Netzel. It doesn't even result in a tag, as getting back in there standing is Frolenda. So still 2-2 count. Frolenda being held very close there at first base. Netzel from the stretch, the 2-2. Rocketed into left center field, a short blooper. That one falls for a base hit. So now 2 on with 1 away for the Syracuse Silcats, and that brings up the cleanup hitter in Taylor Fajardo. Actually, there's a change of plans. It's True Patterson, number 0 here for the Syracuse Silcats. Looks like there's been a few moves in the outfield here for the Silcats. Not exactly sure what the deal is. We'll figure it all out very shortly, and there's a mound meeting to talk to Mike Netzel between him and pitching coach Robert Anders. Netzel struggling here. He's now allowed 4 hits in this ball game through only the first 2 1/3 innings of work. He's got 2 runners on base behind him. A ground ball could end the inning on a double play, but Mike Netzel could be a little bit rattled. He likes to stay calm when he's on the mound. Sometimes it just can't happen with pitchers. No matter what their mentality is, a lot of them just have their weak moments. And everyone goes back to their positions as Drew Patterson set to come up for his first at-bat for the Syracuse Sulcats in this ball game. Patterson will likely be a straight substitution in right field for the Syracuse Sulcats. Patterson hitting .281 heading into this ball game, 15 RBIs, so that runner on second could very well come around to score on a base hit. Netzel working on the stretch with 2 runners on base behind him. He looks back at second, deals the first pitch. Breaking ball skied into shallow right field in foul territory. Drifting under it is Corbin Paxton, and he makes the easy catch for the second out of the inning. So now Sulcats down to their final out of the inning, 2 away, 2 on, and that brings up Matthew Ners, the designated hitter, after the pop out to first base is caught in foul territory. Ners grounded out to third his first time up. It was a backhanded scoop near the bag by A.G. DiFilippo. Brian Hart still guarding second place closely with 2 away. First pitch to him, misses outside on the off-speed pitch, and the count's 1-0. Ners, a righty, taking on the right-handed throwing Mike Netzel. Netzel looking back at second, 1-0. Off-speed misses outside again, so 2 balls and no strikes here to Matthew Ners, trying to keep the inning alive for the Sulcats and possibly put the Sulcats ahead here. It's a tie ball game with 2 away in the top of the 3rd inning. A 2-0 count here to Matthew Ners, and Netzel on the mound looks back at second base, nobody covering, and he deals. 2-0 chopped on the ground towards second, easy hop for Brian Hart. He flips it over to first in time for the final out of the inning. Not a 1-2-3 inning by any stretch for the Sulcats, but they go down easy and no runs allowed for the Flames on 2 hits, my apologies, and heading into the bottom of the 3rd. It's still a tie ball game here at OCC. Jake Evans, the 9-hitter, due to lead off for the Flames in the bottom of the 3rd. Still a tie ball game between these 2 clubs. And Justin Hurley out for his 3rd inning. The first pitch is ripped between first and second, lands in the outfield for a base hit. On the first pitch, Jake Evans gets a base runner for the Flames. Nobody out. Runner on first now, and that brings the top of the order around, starting with Jack Cherno, who grounded out to the pitcher his first time up. For Jake Evans, it's been a long time coming for him to start getting in a groove. He's been struggling early on. he hadn't gotten a lot of playing time, and lately these last 2 weeks making a lot more consistent appearances at shortstop and occasionally at second base. First pitch to Cherno, the left-handed hitter, is bunted down the third base line, fielded by Nakari. He shoots it over to first in time for the out, so one away in the bottom of the third, but advancing to second on the bunt is Jake Evans. He looks like he may have pulled his calf there. He's walking out towards the outfield, trying to walk out what could be a knot in his leg. Injury bug very prone here for both sides. Patrick Miner got hit in the elbow with a pitch. He's out of the ball game, and now Jake Evans is limping on one leg. He looks to be a little bit better now, but it looks like his right leg has a little bit of a pull in either his calf or his hamstring. Looks to be grabbing his lower leg, so it's probably his calf. Evans had finally started getting on a roll lately, a hit in a lot of the recent games he's been playing in, getting a lot more trust from the coaching staff. Trainers out there talking to Evans, along with head coach Mike Cordero. Coach Cordero confirms with Evans he's okay. Fist bump as both Cordero goes back to the third base line and the trainer heads back to the dugout. And that brings up Mike Netzel, the pitcher / designated hitter for tonight. It's still an interesting conundrum with that, the fact that he's listed as the designated hitter, but because he's the pitcher, there really is no designated hitter. If there's a pitching replacement, the pitcher goes into the batting lineup. Hence why if you look at our stats page on NYCBL's website, you'll see that Keon Taylor, from the last time Mike Netzel was on the mound, was a batter for a game even though he didn't have an at-bat because he replaced Netzel on the mound. Evans leading off of second base. Pickoff attempt is no good as Evans able to dive back in time. Doesn't seem to be too bothered by that right leg. Looks like it was just a little bit of a pull. Nothing too serious for Evans. And Evans, after advancing, he's in scoring position with one away in the bottom of the third for the Flames. A tied 1-1 ball game. And the pitch to Netzel, he shows bunt but pulls back as the pitch misses outside. And the count's 1-0. Corner infielders playing in, anticipating another possible bunt attempt here from the Flames to move Evans over to third. The shortstop Michael Ray guarding him closely, the 1-0. Fastball catches the inside corner, so the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Evans only one stolen base attempt this year. It was successful. And Evans with that pull in what looks to be his right calf, probably less of a threat to go. 1-1, chopped on the ground, foul near the Flames dugout. So quickly behind the count, 1-2. Mike Netzel is against the right-handed pitcher Justin Hurley, out for his third inning of work. So far, Hurley's allowed 1 run on 2 hits in 2 1/3 innings of work. Evans leading off of second base. A single could bring him around to score. 1-2, fastball misses high and inside, just a few feet over the head of Mike Netzel in the right-handed batter's box. The count evens up at 2-2. First time up to bat, Mike Netzel hit a deep fly to left field, caught shy of the warning track. Could deliver another big shot here, would blow this game wide open. 2-2 is chopped right over the head of Hurley on the mound, fielded by the shortstop Michael Ray. The fire over to first is just in time ahead of Mike Netzel, who was speeding down the line and thought he was in safely at first base. Coach Cordero in minor disagreement, but it does move Jake Evans over to third base. So the run to take the lead for the Flames 90 feet away from scoring, as Brian Hart, who hit a deeper fly ball to left the last time up, also recorded an out, but it was barely shy of the wall. It would have been out in almost any other ballpark in the New York Collegiate Baseball League. Brian Hart looking to show off that power. He's already hit a home run here this season. First pitch, a fastball catches the outside corner, and Hart behind in the count 0-1. Hart with the chance to take the team lead in RBIs. He's tied for the lead right now with 21, the other leader being A.J. DiFilippo, batting 5th tonight. And the 0-1 is cut on and missed, a pitch way low and out of the zone, but Hart gave chase to it, and the count's 0-2. 0-2 in the righty-righty matchup. Evans leading off of third base, 2 away, tie ball game. 0-2. Check swing on the pitch in the dirt, misses outside, but the field umpire says he did not go around on the check swing, and the count's 1-2. And so at least on life here, still available for Brian Hart, but the pitcher on the mound, Justin Hurley, still has balls to work with, possibly a few junk pitches as Brian Hart's jumping out in front of a lot of balls. So that one he did not give chase to. Some high cheddar that was about chin level for Hart, and the count's evened up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hurley operating out of the stretch, looks to third, the 2-2. Cut on and missed. Hurley pulled the string and cut Hart out in front. That retires the side, and that's the first strikeout of the game for Justin Hurley. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left on base in scoring position. Heading into the top of the 4th, still a tie ball game, 1-1 between the Flames and Saltcats. Six, seven, eight, leading off an inning for the second time tonight. And Christian Nakari, the first batter, a righty against the right-handed pitcher Netzel, as the first pitch is taken high for a ball count, 1-0. First time up, Christian Nakari hit a high pop out to second base that was brought in by Brian Hart for an out. And that one's hit into the 5.5 hole. A diving stop by Jake Evans. He shoots it over to first. A leaping grab by Corbin Paxton at first base, but he takes his foot off the bag, and Nakari's in there with an infield single. Nakari gets in there with an infield single. A nice grab and throw by Jake Evans. Just couldn't get there to the bag in time. So Nakari's on first with nobody out for the Syracuse Saltcats. And Patrick Miner up to bat now. Actually, he was due up to bat. And now his replacement, Chris Coates, is now up to bat. He's not doing the best at the plate so far this season. He has a batting average of 53. Actually, that's a little bit generous. His batting average is actually 34. And the first pitch is a called strike. And the count's 0-1 here to Coates. Coates coming into the game after Patrick Miner took one off his elbow. That happening in the second inning. He finished out the inning, but he was replaced in the field in the bottom half of the second. And the throw over to first is not in time. Nakari gets back in there safely. And so it's a righty-righty matchup between Coates and Netzel. He shows bunt, puts it down, but it goes foul behind the plate. And the count moves to 0-2. Another runner on base with nobody out for the Saltcats. This is not the first time they've had this today. The last time they did, they brought a run around to score, but they've had low-risk run situations available to them. They've only brought in one on 5 hits. So they've so far stranded 4 runners on base. And Netzel getting ready from the stretch. 1-2. Off speed, a cold strike 3 on the inside corner. Chris Coates gets retired on strikes. That the third strikeout of the season on Chris Coates. The second of the ball game for Mike Netzel on the mound. And that brings up Michael Ray, the shortstop, who grounded out in front of the plate, caught by the catcher who threw it over to first. That happened back in the second inning. So now it's one away, one runner on. Middle infield playing closer to the second base bag. Double play depth for the infield here. First pitch to him is a gold strike on the inside corner. Ray laid off the curveball and the count's 0-1. Michael Ray flashing a good glove over there at short so far today. Able to make a nice play behind the bag in the last half inning. And throw over to first is not in time. Getting back in there safely for what seems like the millionth time this inning is Christian Nagari. Netzel prone to throwing a lot of pickoff attempts with runners on base, particularly if they're on first. He has not successfully picked off a runner this season so far. Big lead off of first for Nakari, and the pitch is high. The throw down to first on the back pick attempt is not in time. Flames disagree again with the call, but that one was a little bit close. It looked like that Nakari got in ahead of the throw, but ever so slightly. And the count evens up as 1-1 as that pitch missed above the zone. Joe Navenchi gives the sign to Mike Netzel. Navenchi making his third start behind the dish. 1-1. Fastball fouled back right towards the wall behind home plate. And behind the count 1-2, Michael Ray. Michael Ray, the right-handed hitter, getting back in the box against the righty Netzel. Big lead for Nakari, as always, off the first base bag. 1-2 count. Another pickoff attempt is no good, not even a tag. And getting back in there again for the third time in this at-bat is Christian Nakari. There was also a back-pick attempt earlier in this at-bat from Joe Navenchi. It was also not in time, but it was a very close call, and many Flames players in the dugout thought that he had gotten him out. 1-2. Fouled again behind home plate. Ray staying alive here, about to face the sixth pitch of this at-bat. Infield playing shallow, outfield playing shallow here for Michael Ray. 1-2. Fastball sky down the right side in foul territory. That going out of play. So the count stays at 1-2. The seventh pitch of this at-bat coming up. Michael Ray, an aggressive approach here in this at-bat. Something that he's emulating off of a few of his teammates, particularly Taylor Fajardo. A lot of these teams in the NYCBL like to change up the way that they operate at the plate. Sometimes hitting more aggressive, sometimes being a little more patient, taking more pitches if they're close. Time is called in the batter's box. And Michael Ray steps back in. And Mike Netzel trying to get out of this inning. One away. A runner on first base. In a tie ball game between these two clubs. It's the top of the fourth inning. And the 1-2. Fastball misses high and inside. An even 2-2 count to Michael Ray now. A good fight from him at the plate. The eighth pitch of this at-bat coming up as Mike Netzel being very patient on the mound, not rushing himself, unlike a lot of other players in this league who really amp up the speed at which they throw pitches. 2-2. Cut on and missed. It's a swinging strike three, the third strikeout of the ballgame for Mike Netzel. And there are two away here in the top of the fourth inning. That brings up the catcher, Dylan Nolan, who grounded out to first last time. It was taken to the bag by Corbin Paxton himself after fielding the grounder. So now two away here, changes the dynamic a little bit. Now with the runner on first base, doesn't matter as much. Everyone in the field returns to their regular defensive positioning. Not as much concern about a double play opportunity since one does not exist with two away. Second baseman Brian Hart still playing close to the bag. The first pitch goes off the glove of Joe Navenci and it goes to the backstop. And advancing to second base on the passed ball is Christian Nakari. And that changes the dynamic yet again. So now a runner in scoring position and a single could bring him around to score. So 1-0 count here to Dylan Nolan. Hart now playing closer to the bag, keeping Nakari close. Not very well, as Nakari has a massive lead off of the bag. No one's covering. Netzel deals the 1-0. Fastball misses high and inside. 2 balls and no strikes here to Dylan Nolan, who's trying to keep this inning alive or possibly give the Cats the lead as the runner stands on second base with 2 away in the tie ball game. Lefty warming up in the bullpen for the Cats. 2-0. Off speed, catches the zone. That one on the inner third, and the count moves to 2-1. Netzel getting in and out of grooves here on the mound. Lets one runner on base, gets himself into tight spots, but usually able to escape too much trouble. He takes a step off the mound real quick to gather his bearings. As Nolan back into the box for this righty-righty matchup. 2-1, fastball misses high. So now 3 balls and a strike to Dylan Nolan. Netzel in danger of walking another runner. Netzel is not allowed a walk yet today. He has hit a batter that back in the second inning took Patrick Miner out of the ball game. 3-1. Fastball is ripped foul behind home plate, and the count's now full at 3-2. So a full count here to Dylan Nolan, with 2 away here in the top of the 4th inning. Big lead off of second as always for Christian Nakari. A single will bring him around to score. His lead almost halfway to third base. 3-2 pitch misses inside for ball 4. And running, not walking to first base is Dylan Nolan on the walk. And that's the first walk allowed on the day for Mike Netzel. And now there are 2 runners on for Adam Holland. Holland 1 for 2 so far today. Came around to score after singling in the first inning. And then he grounded out to third back in the third. So Holland, a right-handed pitcher, right-handed batter getting in for the righty-righty matchup with 2 runners on, 2 away in a tie ball game in the top of the 4th inning. Netzel with 2 runners on, trying to escape a jam for what is not the first time today. First pitch, a fastball check swinged foul by Adam Holland. The count's 0-1. Holland crowding the plate here. Infield playing relatively shallow with 2 away. 0-1. Fastball misses up and in. The count evens up at a ball and a strike to Holland. Holland faced this same count last at bat when he grounded out to third base. And this time it's a little bit more of a dramatic situation. That was a leadoff, and now he has 2 runners on base, a chance to give the Cats the lead. Both runners with huge leads off the bags. The 1-1. Chopped it on the ground over to Evans. He flips it over to second in time for the fielder's choice, and that retires this side. The Flames don't allow any runs after allowing 2 runners on base, heading to the bottom 4. Still a tie ball game at OCC Stadium. New arm on the mound for the Syracuse Cellcats. Bryce Cundiff comes in for Justin Hurley after Hurley goes 3 innings. First pitch to Colin Matthews is a fastball missing outside, and the count's 1-0. Cundiff out of the University of Arkansas, Monticello, a native of Jacksonville, Texas. He's a big lefty, 6'2", 200 pounds, facing the righty Matthews, and the 1-0 fastball misses high. The count's now 2-0. An interesting note, fun fact, Brandon Ross is also a teammate of Bryce Cundiff's back at Arkansas Monticello. The 2-0 is a called strike. Count 2-1 here to Matthews. Brandon Ross is a relatively common name, but I did not expect to come that close to home. And the 2-1 is skied into shallow infield on the right side. Getting under that one is the first baseman, Sean Luller. He makes the catch for the first out of the inning. Colin Matthews goes out without too much trouble. And now that brings up A.J. DiFilippo with one away. He grounded out to second in his first at-bat. DiFilippo, a lefty facing the lefty on the mound in Bryce Cundiff. DiFilippo, one of the 2 late arrivals on this ball club. It's been an interesting matchup. First pitch to him is a cold strike, and the count's 0-1. It's been an interesting matchup with a lot of the guys on the Onondaga Flames getting into the league late. 0-1 fastball misses inside. Count evens up at a ball and a strike. A lot of these guys matching up very well. Some of them taking a little bit longer, but for the Flames, going very well. A lot of great hitters, including McLean O'Connor and DiFilippo and Cherno, as that one skied foul down the left side. And the count moves to 1-2. DiFilippo, number 12, facing number 12 on the mound in Bryce Cundiff. DiFilippo, he's hitting well. Him and Jack Cherno, both Columbia teammates, hitting well above 250, close to 300. The 1-2's chopped on the ground, foul to the right side, and the count stays at 1-2. DiFilippo getting ready for the 5th pitch of this at-bat. And so it's DiFilippo and Cherno from Columbia, Jake Zarot from Canisius, Jeff DiStefano from Canisius. He hasn't pitched a lot. And the 1-2 fastball misses outside. Count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And then even later arrivals that weren't even scheduled to come in. McLean O'Connor was the last of the scheduled players to arrive, and now Riley Workman, Holden Martin coming in a couple days ago. The 2-2 misses above the zone, and it's a full count to A.J. DiFilippo. Another one, Joe Navenchi, the starting catcher tonight. He was brought onto the squad less than a week ago. Owner Wayne Walker has been emailing college coaches trying to get extra leads as that one's ripped down the left field line in the corner. Making a running catch on the slide is Chris Coates in the corner. Great range from Coates, who came into the game after Patrick Miner got knocked down at first base, and the left fielder then Sean Lawler came in to play first. That is far from the first great catch Coates has made against the Onondaga Flames. He made another diving stop in right center field a few games back. That coming in the earlier half of the year, in about mid to late June. And Joe Navenchi comes up with 2 away here for the Onondaga Flames. He grounded out to second his first time up, but he drove in the only run of the game for the Onondaga Flames. First pitch to him was a fastball way inside, and Navenchi's brushed off the plate. The count's 1-0. It's a righty-lefty matchup here. Is Navenchi trying to get his first hit of the ball game. 1-0. Fastball misses high and outside. 2 balls, no strikes here to Navenchi. Navenchi, one of the younger players in this league, a recent graduate of Shenandoah High School. Recently produced a first-round draft pick a couple of years ago, and that one misses inside again. So now 3 balls and no strikes to Navenchi with 2 away in the inning. Still a tie ball game. And eventually could give the Flames their first base runner of the bottom of the 4th here. If he just takes another ball, the 3-0. Fastball taken for a called strike, and the count's 3-1. Navenchi did not have the green light, as that one was softer than other fastballs, but that one was right over the middle. Three-run from Cundiff. Skied to the right side, foul territory, out of play. And so the count's now full at 3-2. Cundiff has worked his way back into this at-bat against Avenchi. Originally had a 3-0 count on him, and then just 2 more pitches, able to make it 3-2. Avenchi back into the box. Full count, 2 away. Tie ball game, bottom 4. 3-2. Fastball misses high for ball 4, and Avenchi hightails it a little bit over to first base, and the Flames have a 2-out base runner. And with 2 away, that brings up Mike Stefan. Walked his first time up. The left fielder, a switch hitter, now batting from the right side against the lefty Bryce Cundiff. And there's a mound meeting between the catcher Dylan Nolan and Bryce Cundiff on the mound. Cundiff coming in this inning, his first inning of work, a short outing for Justin Hurley. This is likely a bullpen game if that truly is the case that he came in this spot. Hurley's pitch count wasn't too high, so he's likely either approaching his innings limit or the Saltcats coaches want to make this a bullpen game. Cundiff looks over to first. First pitch, a fastball misses low below the knees, and the count's 1-0. Stefan worked a 5-pitch walk his first at-bat, got a 3-0 count, took a pitch down the middle, and then drew a walk. 1-0 misses high, and the count moves to 2-0 now. Joe Avenchi on first base hasn't stolen the base yet this year. He's only been here for 3 games. This his 4th. Cundiff staring down first base. 2-0. Pitch misses outside. 3 balls and no strikes to Stefan. And Cundiff in danger of allowing 2 base runners on with 2 away for the Flames and with Corbin Paxton on deck. 3-0 count to Stefan. The pitch. Fastball called a strike right down the middle. Stefan didn't have the green light, and the count moves to 3 balls and a strike. Stefan, another Canisius College player that arrived late alongside Jake Zarat. And the 3-1 pitch misses outside for ball 4, so now 2 runners on for the Onondaga Flames with 2 away in the bottom of the 4th inning, and that brings up Corbin Paxton. Corbin Paxton, first time up, hit a high pop-up that flew out into the shallow outfield and was corralled just in front of Adam Holland in center by the shortstop Michael Ray. And the mound meeting coming between head coach Mike Martinez and the mound pitcher Bryce Cundiff. Flames pounding on the door with the possibility of scoring another run in the bottom of the 4th inning. 2 on, 2 out. Flames haven't left too many runners on base yet. That's been their kryptonite so far this year. They've left 2 on through 3 innings, both of them in scoring position. It's been the Saltcats' problem mostly today, as through 4 innings, they've left 6 runners on base. And with Corbin Paxton due up for the Onondaga Flames, he has driven in a good few amount of runs. He has a couple of extra base hits to his name this year, including a home run from last week in Sherrill, and a couple of triples, as a matter of fact, down the left center field power alley. Home plate umpire going in to break out the mound meeting as it's taking quite some time. It's Corbin Paxton up for the Onondaga Flames. Due up after him is Jake Evans. And the meeting disperses. Everyone goes back out to their spots, and Corbin Paxton, the left-handed hitter, gets a chance to go up against the lefty Bryce Cundiff.
The first baseman, Corbin Paxton.
Paxton crowding the plate here as usual. It's Joe Avenchi off of second base, Mike Stefan off of first, both with relatively big leads, as Paxton with the chance to take the lead here for the Flames with a base hit. Pickoff attempt over at first base is not in time. Stefan gets back in there safely, so still no pitches in this at-bat to Corbin Paxton, who's trying to get the Flames back with the lead. They haven't had the lead in a ball game since 3 games ago. First pitch to him, a fastball, a cold strike on the outside corner, and Paxton behind 0-1. Infield shifted to the right here for the lefty Paxton. Ferlenda playing with his heels on the outfield grass, and Michael Ray, the shortstop, playing very close to the second base bag. 0-1. Chopped on the ground, foul behind home plate over in the direction of the Cats dugout. The count's 0-2. Jake Evans waiting on deck. 2 on, 2 away. No balls and 2 strikes here to Corbin Paxton. A tie ball game at 1. Paxton looking to blow the game open here. Cundiff trying to get out of the inning. Cundiff takes a long look back at second base and deals the 0-2. Osby misses outside. That one cutting just a little too far. And now 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Corbin Paxton. Paxton back in the box. Both runners taking big leads. 1-2. Skied down the left side. Foul territory, out of play. So it's still a 1-2 count here to Paxton. He's fighting off for the pitch he wants to hit. Something that a lot of Flames players like to do, and they've had varying levels of success as of late in accomplishing it. Early on in the season, they were bursting in offensive power, and a few games ago, they were averaging 13 runs per game over a 4-game winning streak. 1-2. Osby jumped on the ground towards first, fielded, backhanded by Lawler. He takes it to the bag himself and retires the side. Flames don't go down 1-2-3, but they leave 2 runners on base. And heading into the top of the 5th, still a tie ball game here at OCC Stadium. Xander Ferlenda leading off the top of the 5th inning for the Syracuse Cats. So far, 1 for 2 with a single and a ground out back to the pitcher. Breaking ball on the first pitch, a called strike on the inside corner. And Netzel on the mound ahead in the count 0-1. Netzel out for his 5th inning of work, starting with this righty-righty matchup against Xander Ferlenda. The 0-1. An off-speed pitch that misses in the dirt. The count evens up at a ball and a strike. Ferlenda's been one of the more successful hitters for the Syracuse Saltcats against this Onondaga Flames team. As Netzel winds and deals. 1-1 is Sky down the right side. Foul territory, running to get that one near the fence is Corbin Paxton, and he makes the catch, sticking his hand out to keep himself from running into the fence, and there's one away here in the top of the 5th. Paxton showing off some range with that catch in foul territory over by the fence, and that brings up Sean Lawler for his third at-bat of the ball game. He has a pair of singles so far today. Got stranded on base both times. Drove in a run his first time up, the only run of the ball game for the Sulcats, and one of two between the two teams. First pitch from Netzel to the lefty. Lawler is a fastball missing outside. The count's 1-0. Lawler's had a bit of a more patient approach so far today. Waiting for the pitch he wants to hit, fouling off ones he doesn't like. 1-0 is ripped into center field. Cherno running back hard to that one. That's going to get over his head and bounce off the wall. Rounding second is Lawler. He's going to go for third. Cut off by Jake Evans in the outfield. The throw to third is not in time. And Sean Lawler gets in there with a triple. Not what Mike Netzel was looking for in this inning. Now the run to take the lead for the Sulcats, 90 feet away from scoring. And Sean Lawler's now halfway to the cycle with the most difficult part all the way already done with the triple. And now that brings up Drew Patterson for his second at-bat after replacing Taylor Fajardo in the third. Netzel working out of the stretch, the entire infield playing in. First pitch and off speed that catches the outside corner. He's behind in the count, 0-1. In his one plate appearance, Patterson popped out to first in foul territory. Catch was made over near the first base coaching box by Corbin Paxton. Netzel from the stretch, the 0-1. Off-speed cut on and missed. Patterson was way out in front of that one, and Netzel pulled the string. So it's 0-2 here to Patterson with one away. And if Netzel can get this out here, that'll be huge as he can focus on the batter with two away and the runner on third base. Time is called at home plate. Mike Netzel needs to escape this inning if he wants to have the ability to get charged with a decision. Some action starting up in the Flames bullpen. It might just be a regular bullpen mid-game. We'll see. 0-2 fastball misses high, and the count goes to 1-0. 1-2 rather, my apologies. 2 strikes on Patterson here from Mike Netzel. One away, runner on third base in this tie ball game in the top of the fifth. 1-2 is cut on and missed way out of the zone. Patterson's going to run to first as it was dropped third strike, but he'll get thrown out at first base, and there are 2 away. That's the 4th strikeout of the game for Mike Netzel on the mound, and that brings up Matthew Ners for his third plate appearance. A pair of groundouts so far, 1 to third base, 1 to second. He has a chance to bring in a run here with 2 away in the top of the fifth. This tie ball game could give the Sulcats the lead with just a base hit. Ners' level of success so far in driving in runs is certainly not great. 5 RBIs through this large chunk of the season, and the first pitch is a called strike, and he's behind the count 0-1. We've seen a good bit of Ners behind the plate as well as Dylan Nolan. Haven't seen a lot of Isaac Porter in the back half of the season. 0-1. Off-speed fouled off of Da Vinci behind the plate, so the count moves to 0-2. Ners down to his final strike in the inning. Netzel just 1 strike away from getting out of the jam. It's Sean Lawler on third base. 0-2 count, 2 away, 1-1. 1-1 is the score in this ball game. Righty-righty matchup. 0-2. Off-speed way in the dirt outside. And the count moves to a ball and 2 strikes. Netzel looking to get Ners to chase, but he didn't give in. So the count moves to 1-2. Christian Nakari waiting on deck should the inning continue. Let's see what Netzel goes with here. The 1-2. Fastball way outside. And the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Netzel in these last couple of innings has had some struggle with his control, both with his fastballs and his off-speed pitches. Sometimes he feels like just mixing it up could get the trip back. Sometimes it doesn't work. His fastball's a little inaccurate. He's not getting a good grip on his curveballs. Let's see what he goes with here on the 2-2 count. Fastball is ripped down the right side, but foul. Count stays at 2-2. 6th pitch of the at-bat coming up for Ners. Count still 2-2 now. against Matthew Nurse. Netzel trying to set down the side. 2-2. Is ripped again, foul behind home plate. Count stays at 2-2, and Nurse getting ready for the 7th pitch of this at-bat. Netzel's pitch count beginning to run up here. He's trying to get out of the inning without allowing the run on third. Nurse back in the box. 2-2. Caught on and missed. Nurse gave chase to the high cheddar, and that retires the side. 5th strikeout of the game for Mike Netzel. And heading into the bottom of the 5th, it's still a 1-1 ball game. Jake Evans leading off the 9-hitter for the Flames at the bottom of the 5th inning. He has a single to his name so far as the Flames trying to break out of this one. It's a 1-1 ball game as Bryce Cundiff comes onto the mound for his second inning of work. It's a lefty-righty matchup between the pitcher and the batter, and the first pitch is a fastball cut on and missed, and Evans behind in the count 0-1. Evans flashed the glove earlier in this ball game. He made a diving stop in the 5.5 hole, tried to make a throw over to first, just barely was late, but he showed off a stellar glove there, matching the stellar bat he's shown as the 1-0 pitch misses outside. The count evens up at a ball and a strike. Cundiff had a bit of trouble last inning, able to get out of it. And the 1-1 misses high, and the count's 2-1. Cundiff trying to avoid trouble altogether here. 9-1-2 due up. Last time this turn went through the order. And the 2-1 misses inside. Counts 3-1. It was the same starting 3 for the bottom of the 3rd inning. Evans singled, eventually came around to 3rd after a pair of groundouts. And then Brian Hart struck out to end the inning. 3-1. Fastball misses high and outside for ball 4, so Jake Evans reaches base for the 2nd time today. And now the top of the order and Jack Cherno due up for the Onondaga Flames. Cherno's got a pair of groundouts right back to the pitcher to his name so far today. Still hitting above 300 on the season. One of the better hitters. And Jake Evans with a chance to do something on the base paths here. He only has 1 stolen base so far this year. Cundiff looks over to first base. Evans with a very short lead off the bag. Cherno shows bunt, pulls back, and that pitch is a called strike on the outside corner. Cherno behind in the count 0-1. A lot of bunt attempts here from both sides. It's part of the game played in the NYCBL. A lot of these guys aren't accustomed to constant wood bat play, and so small ball is a big part of the contest. Also, a lot of aggressive base running. Another show of bunt here to Cherno, and he pulls back as that one misses high. The count's now 1-1. My apologies. Cherno crowding the box. And another lead off of first for Evans. It's a 1-1 count and a tie ball game. Nobody out, runner on first. The 1-1 misses outside. He pulls back on another bunt attempt, and the count's now 2-1. Christian Nakari anticipating the bunt, playing about 5 or 6 steps into the infield grass. Charging hard when Jack Cherno shows bunt once Bryce Cundiff delivers the pitch. Cherno showing bunt very early here, the 2-1. He pulls back on that one as that one misses high and outside. So 3 balls and no strikes here to Cherno, as this approach has gotten to Bryce Cundiff's head a little bit, as he's trying hard to keep the pitch away from Cherno's bat and at a cost of throwing a lot of balls. Again, a short lead for Evans off of first base. 3-1 count. Cherno again shows bunt, pulls back, but that one's a called strike on the outside corner. The count's 3-2. And so the bunt option not available anymore for Jack Cherno unless he wants to risk getting called out on a bunt that goes foul. A full count here. Runner on first base. Tie ball game in the bottom of the 5th. Facing a full count, Bryce Cundiff deals the payoff pitch. Caught on and missed on the outside corner. Jack Cherno chased the pitch away. And there is now 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And Mike Netzel comes up for his 3rd plate appearance. A deep fly out to left and a ground out to shortstop make up his night so far, 0 for 2. And that's the first strikeout of the ball game for Bryce Cundiff.
Mike Netzel.
And Netzel crowding the box from the right side against the lefty Bryce Cundiff on the mound. Third baseman Christian Nakari still playing in close to the infield grass, a couple steps in as a matter of fact. First pitch, runner goes, foul back to the backstop, and the count's 0-1. Evans going to have to run back to first base. Netzel, one of the more aggressive hitters. He's had a fair bit of success so far this season, though. Netzel himself hitting .329 entering today. The last time against the Sulcats, he went 3 for 5, scoring 1 of the Flames' runs. 0-1 count here to Netzel. Cundiff looks over to first base where Evans just tried to steal before the foul ball was hit. And a pickoff attempt over to first is not in time. Evans gets in there safely as time was called regardless. And so the count's still 0-1 here to Mike Netzel as Brian Hart waits patiently on deck. Outfield actually shifted to the left a little bit. And the 0-1 is a fastball missing high and outside. Count evens up at a ball and a strike. The Flames trying to get out in front here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Still a tie ball game. Sulcats put up a run in the top of the 1st. Flames responded in the bottom of the 2nd with a run of their own. The 1-1 is a check swing that's hard fouled out of play to the right side. Mike Netzel got good wood on that, even though he didn't even mean to swing. And so the count's 1-2. Middle infield playing close here. Double play depth here. And Cundiff deals the 1-2. Fastball misses high and outside, so the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Netzel laboring hard here in the batter's box. A patient approach, but also trying to get a base hit. An extra base hit could bring around the go-ahead run. 2-2. Fastball misses inside, brushes Netzel off the plate, and so the count's full again, 3-2. Second straight batter that Cundiff has faced that he's gotten into a full count. Last time, Jack Cherno ended up striking out, swinging. 3-2, runner goes. Pitch misses inside, ball 4. So Evans runs to second, but it is moot cause. And now Mike Netzel's on first base. Runners on first and second with only 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th. That brings up Brian Hart, who's also 0 for 2 tonight. A strikeout and a deep fly out to left to his name. That one only a couple of feet shy of the wall.
The second baseman, Brian Hart.
Second walk victim of the inning for Bryce Cundiff. And Brian Hart, a big bat for the Flames. Again, 21 RBIs on the year, tied for the lead on the team. And head coach Mike Martinez going out to talk to his pitcher. It's a very slow walk out to the mound for head coach Mike Martinez. And Bryce Cundiff's in a tough spot. 2 runners on, 1 away. It's the bottom of the 5th inning, so still plenty of baseball left. It's a tie ball game. But the Saltcats, if they get behind, it could be tough to go back with less baseball to work with. Head coach Mike Cordero down the third base line talking strategy with his players. And now it's Mike Netzel on first base and Jake Evans on second base with Brian Hart up to bat. Hart with a chance to drive in the go-ahead run, possibly even a couple more. And head coach Mike Martinez finally returns to the dugout. A very long mound meeting that I actually counted 20 seconds to take him to get to the mound, as it looks like he's just trying to get something out of his eyes. Brian Hart up to bat with Colin Matthews on deck behind him. 1 away. 2 runners on. Tie ball game in the bottom of the 5th. First pitch, a fastball missing inside, gets away from Nolan behind the plate. The runners both advance, and now the runners are both in scoring position, second and third with 1 away. The double play option for the Saltcats infield no longer exists. Crucial mental mistake there on the wild pitch, as both runners advancing to second and third respectively. And now it's Evans on third base and Mike Netzel on second, both of them very speedy runners. Now just a deep fly ball could bring in the go-ahead run. The 1-0. Fastball misses high, and so the count's now 2 balls and no strikes to Brian Hart. If Cundiff's not careful here, he could also walk the bases loaded if he issues the 3rd walk of just this inning. It would also be his 5th of the day, as the 2-0 misses outside on the fastball. It's now 3-0. First baseman Sean Lawler goes out to talk to Cundiff on the mound. Flames in a great position here to get back out in front. Colin Matthews, a great power hitter, waiting on deck if Brian Hart can't get anything done here. The double play opportunity is no longer there for the Saltcats defense. And now a real chance to take advantage of hitter's count. Unlikely Brian Hart has the green light, as the 3-0 is a cold strike right down the middle with the fastball. And now it's 3-1. Corner infield, actually the entire infield playing in here, trying to prevent the go-ahead run from scoring. 3-run fastball misses low and away for ball 4. So Brian Hart's on first, 5th walk of the game for Bryce Cundiff, and the bases are loaded with 1 away as Colin Matthews comes up. Colin Matthews with a big opportunity here.
The right fielder, number 23, Colin Matthews.
And a quick mound meeting between Dylan Nolan and Bryce Cundiff out there on the mound. Colin Matthews so far, a double that ended up scoring in the 2nd inning. He popped out to first back in the 4th. He's a big-time player with a big-time bat. He could make it a great use here, as just a deep fly ball would bring in a run. And now a pitching coach coming out. It looks like the day might be done for Bryce Cundiff, and that will be it for him. He finishes with 1 1/3 innings pitched, and we'll tell you who comes in as his replacement when we come back. It's a right-handed pitcher in Logan Zavada replacing Bryce Cundiff on the mound, coming in a very dangerous spot for the Saltcats. Bases loaded, one away in a tie ball game in the bottom of the fifth inning. Cullen Matthews coming up to bat. He already has a double to his name today. First pitch, a fastball ripped into the right center field gap. That's going to drop for extra bases. That one rolling all the way to the wall. Run comes around to score. And he's going to actually get held up. And coming around to score now, Mike Netzel. The throw is not in time. Mike Netzel gets in ahead of the tag. It's a 2-run single for Cullen Matthews as everyone was held up waiting for whether that ball would drop. Cullen Matthews halfway to the cycle. A 2-run single gives the Flames a 3-1 lead. Incredible levels of clutch here from Cullen Matthews. Those RBIs for him are numbers 11 or numbers 12 and 13 on the year for him, and AJ DiFilippo now has runners on first and third with only one away. Not a great start for Zavada on the mound. Runner at first going, but fakes as the first pitch, a fastball missing outside, the count 1-0. So Matthews faked the steal of second base. He's back on the first base bag. It's still first and third here. One away, a 1-0 count to AJ DiFilippo, a 3-1 lead now for the Flames. A pickoff attempt at first is no good. Matthews able to get back in there easy. Matthews a big lead off of there at first base. AJ DiFilippo, one of the productive hitters. A lot of RBIs this season. Matthews goes for real this time. A check swing, a cold strike. The throw down to second is not in time. Matthews is in there with a stolen base. That stolen base is Matthews' third of the season. And now 2 runners in scoring position for the Flames. The double play again, not an option for the Saltcats. DiFilippo with a chance to drive in 2 more here for the Onondaga Flames. Joe Navenchi waiting on deck. A deep fly ball brings in another run for Onondaga, the 1-1. A check swing does go around according to the home plate umpire. Doesn't even confer with the umpire in the field. And so DiFilippo in a 1-2 hole here. So far, DiFilippo today, a ground out to second and a fly out to left. The 1-2. Fastball misses way outside. Nolan struggles to keep that one from going to the backstop, and the count's even at 2-2. Entire infield again playing in here. Saltcats now trailing by 2, trying to not allow the lead to expand for the Flames. 2-2. Chopped foul right into the spot where you don't want to get hit as a catcher for Dylan Nolan. He's limping over down the first base line. That's a tough spot for anybody, especially a catcher. So the count's still 2-2. He's walking that one out. That's certainly not a fun place to get hit if you're a catcher. Gosh, that's sometimes like some catchers, when that happens, they puke. And Dylan Nolan not looking too comfortable out there. He looks like he's probably okay, trying to get back there in the catcher's box. He's shaking it off. He's about to put the mask back on. And play will resume, but that's a tough shot for any catcher to take. Dylan Nolan, I wouldn't have blamed him if he took another full minute. That's a rough shot that no one wants to take. And so a 2-2 count here to DiFilippo. Still 2 runners in scoring position. Flames with a 2-run lead and 1 away. The pitch ripped hard down the right field line. Foul on the ground. And the count stays at 2-2. DiFilippo back in the box again, a 2-2 count, coming up the 6th pitch of the at-bat. Zavada working out of the stretch. A righty-lefty matchup, the 2-2. Chopped on the ground, right back to the pitcher Zavada. He'll make the throw over to first in time for the second out of the inning. Meanwhile, Brian Hart comes around to score. It's now a 4-1 lead for the Onondaga Flames as that one was chopped so high in the air. Zavada had no chance of making a throw in time to get the runner at home. And so now that brings up Joe Navenchi with 2 away and a runner on third base. So far, Navenchi has got a walk to his name and a ground out to short. He's driven in 1 of the 4 runs for the Flames today. First pitch to him, a fastball outside, and a check swing went around according to the home plate umpire. Not even a conference with the second base umpire, and the count's 0-1. Sometimes it's interesting the fact that there's only one field umpire. It's sometimes questionable whether a field umpire's opinion is even valued in that situation, as the 0-1 misses in the dirt, and the count's knotted up at a ball and a strike. Eventually, the righty against the right-handed pitching Zavada. Big lead off of third for Matthews. The 1-1 is skied foul down the right side. That one going deep into foul territory, and the count's 1-2. Da Vinci drove in his first RBI of the season back in the second inning. A chance to drive in another here, as the Flames have now extended a 4-1 lead in this bottom half of the inning after coming into the inning tied at 1. 1-2. Fastball misses high about chin level for Navenchi, and the count's evened up at 2-2. Colin Matthews leading off of third base, could score the 9th time for him this season. That one's chopped on the ground, foul down the third base line. He's fighting to stay alive, and the 6th pitch of this at-bat coming up. Eventually, obviously a later rival, hasn't played any college competition yet, but against a bunch of college players here in the NYCBL, showing some solid play through his first few games. The 2-2, a fastball called strike 3 on the inside corner. Da Vinci not happy. He goes back to the dugout, but the Flames get 3 runs here in the bottom of the 5th, heading into the top of the 6th. The Flames now have a 4-1 lead over the Saltcats. Six, seven, eight, leading off the top of the 6th inning for the Syracuse Saltcats, as the Saltcats now trail the Flames 4-1, with the Flames putting up 3 runs in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Christian Nakari up first against Mike Netzel, out for his 6th inning of work. The first pitch curveball is a called strike on the inside corner. Nakari behind in the count, 0-1. Nakari so far a pop out to second base and a single back in the 4th. 1 for 2 on the day. The 0-1 is a pitch that's called high, and the count's 1-1. Nakari has a good glove over there at third base. He hasn't gotten too much action over there so far today. As the 1-1 misses high, it's now 2 balls and a strike. Nakari's made some stellar diving catches. In fact, the last game, Brian Hart hit a lining rope in between the 5.5 hole, and he made a diving catch to keep the inning from getting out of hand. And the 2-1, this is inside on the breaking pitch. It's now 3-1 to Nakari. But Nakari has done a good bit at the plate, too, against the Onondaga Flames, as he's facing a 3-1 count here from Mike Netzel. And that pitch misses low for ball 4. He walks, and that's another walk for Mike Netzel. He hasn't walked too many so far. That's only his second of the ball game. And now that brings up Chris Coates with one runner on and nobody out. So far for Coates, one at-bat. It was a looking strikeout, the second of the day for Netzel, who currently has 5. Coates continuing to struggle at the plate, entered this game with a 34 batting average, and now has another strikeout to his name. The first pitch misses just outside, count 1-0. Mike Netzel threw 5 innings of work, 1 run on 6 hits. In line for the win if he can escape this inning without allowing the Sulcats to tie or take the lead. And that one skied high to the right side on the fastball, but it misses out of play. And the count's evened up at a ball and a strike. Infield in double play depth, with the runner on first, a chance to turn 2 on a ground ball to any part of the infield. Netzel working out of the stretch as Nakari takes the lead off of first. A pickoff attempt is just a little bit late. Nakari able to slide in ahead of the tag. And some more action in both bullpens now. Netzel pitch count running up. Likely his last inning. His last outing against the Rome Generals also went 6 innings. 1-1. Off speed, misses in the dirt outside, so 2 balls and a strike to Chris Coates, who's trying to help the Sulcats get back into this one as they now trail 4-1, with the Flames putting up 3 runs in the bottom of the 5th. He has a runner on first base facing a 2-1 count. 2-1, ripped foul behind home plate, over the fence and into the parking lot, so the count's evened up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Every time a foul ball has been hit in the last month, it scared me to death. If anyone has been listening to these broadcasts, when we were on the road against the Syracuse Spartans, Eric and I were calling the game, and a foul ball hit my car as the 2-2s cut on and missed, and Chris Coates is set down on strikes. That's the 6th tonight for Mike Netzel, and there's one away in the top of the 6th. That brings up Michael Ray, the shortstop. Usually wears number 6, wearing number 4 tonight after he left his jersey back at his house.
Number 4, Michael Ray.
So far for Ray, a swinging strikeout and a ground out right to the catcher. He made the throw over to first to get him out. A foul ball hit my car at Blink Fitness Field in Liverpool. And ever since then, every time a foul ball has been hit, I sort of get this sense of scare in my mind as the first pitch is a cold strike on the fastball. Ray behind in the count 0-1. And so even here at OCC Stadium, it's very difficult to hit a foul ball into the parking lot, but a lot of foul balls still go in that direction, and you can really never feel too safe considering my favorite parking spot is right near the entrance. And before the 0-1, a pickoff attempt over at first, nothing doing as Nakari gets back in there safely. Mike Netzel ahead in the count of the batter Michael Ray, 0-1. A runner on first base. Sulcats still trailing 4-1 here. 0-1. Fastball's ripped foul behind the plate into the netting, and the count's 0-2. Michael Ray and Mike Gorman have been the 2 starting shortstops for the Sulcats so far this season. Mike Gorman recently replaced as the starting shortstop. Gorman hitting .268 so far this year out of Iona College, a native of Carmel, New York. Michael Ray out of the Citadel, a much more disciplined player out of South Carolina, hitting .317. And the 0-2 pitch misses low, and the count moves to 1-2. Michael Ray, one of a couple of players from the Citadel who interestingly found their way to the NYCBL. A popular league down in the Carolinas is the Coastal Plains League, which usually draws from the North and South Carolina schools that aren't North Carolina, South Carolina, or either of the state schools. But interestingly enough, both of them coming from the South Carolina Military School up here to play in the NYCBL. These guys for the Sulcats, another pickoff attempt over at first is not in time. And so the count's still 1-2 here to Michael Ray, one away in the bottom, or rather the top of the 6th inning. Flames still leading 4-1. The batter on deck is Dylan Nolan. He represents the tying run. 1-2 from Netzel. Fastball's chopped on the ground, backhanded by Evans. A bad fielding attempt. It's a fielder's choice. The throw to first is not in time. It never was going to be in time. It was looking to be a possible E6, but Jake Evans corrals it to get the force out at second, and there's now 2 away as Evans able to work a fielder's choice after fielding a rough grounder in the 6th hole. And now a 2 away that brings up Dylan Nolan, who's 0 for 1 so far. A ground out to the first base bag, taken to the bag by Paxton himself, and a walk back in the 4th inning. It's a righty-righty matchup between Dylan Nolan and the right-handed pitcher Mike Netzel, trying to finish his 6th inning of work with his current stat line of 1 run and 6 hits. First pitch to him, a breaking ball, a called strike on the inner third, and the count's 0-1. It's Christian Nakari on first base, who walked to lead off this inning. Since then, a swinging strikeout and a fielder's choice. A pickoff attempt at first is not in time. Nakari again gets back in there safely. So the count's still 0-1 here to Dylan Nolan, who's had some troubles behind the plate so far tonight, allowing a few pass balls and wild pitches that have really proved crucial as runners have advanced into scoring position that would eventually come around to score for the Flames and give them this 4-1 lead. Netzel working out of the stretch with Nakari on first base. He deals the 0-1. Nakari goes. That pitch is skied down the right side, but foul out of play. And so the count's 0-2. It's actually now Michael Ray at first base. My apologies. Nakari was gunned down at second on the fielder's choice the last at-bat. And so now the count 0-2 here to Dylan Nolan. Standing right about the middle of the box, not crowding too much. Netzel deals the 0-2. Is driven into left field, right in the direction of Mike Stefan. He only has to take 1 step to his right to make the catch and end the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 man left on base. At the end of 5.5 innings of play, the Flames still have a 4-1 lead. Bottom of the 6th inning here at OCC Stadium. The Flames still lead 4-1, and I'm now joined in the broadcast booth by Jeremy Taylor, one of the starting pitchers. He'll be providing me with a half inning of color commentary, and I'll talk to him about Mike Netzel's 6-inning start when we get to the top half of the 7th. And right now, it's Mike Stefan leading off, a switch-handed hitter, batting from the left side against the righty Logan Zavada on the mound. First pitch from Zavada, a fastball outside. And the count's 1-0. What are you noticing from Zavada on the mound so far? He came in midway through last inning, tried to relieve it, couldn't hold on to the damage.
Yeah, our guys did a good job of making some quality at bats. He's pounding the strike zone for the most part, but our hitters are doing a good job of putting quality at bats and putting the ball in play, putting up some runs for us.
1-0 pitch missed low, and so the count's even at 1-1 to Mike Stefan. And Zavada is always working from the stretch. Doesn't go from the windup at any point. The 1-1 is a fastball missing high about letter level, and the count goes to 2-1. Zavada not working too quickly or too slow. Something we saw with Justin Hurley on the mound. He was working at a very slow pace early in this game. The 2-1, Stefan shows bunt. It's popped up behind home plate over towards the Flames dugout. Nolan trying to hustle to catch it, but he can't get there, and the count goes to 2-2. Something we see a lot in the NYCBL is a lot of small ball by a lot of the teams. Why do you think that we see that? My theory is that it's the wood bats, and so a lot of the players have a lot of power here, and so it's a lot of aggressive base running and bunting.
Yeah, I agree totally. Sometimes with the wood bats, when they play at college, they use metal bats. So with wood bats, they might not be used to it. It's probably an easier way to score a run for any team if you just bunt and play some small ball.
Counts 2-2 here to Mike Stefan. Still a 4-1 Flames lead. Nobody out. Mike Stefan, the leadoff hitter in this inning. 2-2 fastball is chopped on the ground towards second. Fielded on the run by Ferlenda. He flips it over to first in time for the first out of the inning. Stefan goes down not too easy, but he gets the ground out. And now it's Corbin Paxton coming up. He's 0 for 2 so far. A fly out to the shortstop in shallow center field. And a ground ball right to the first baseman, who took it to the bag himself.
The first baseman, Corbin Paxton.
Corbin's still looking to find his groove. He hasn't really had a good hitting stretch so far this season. He has bursts at the plate, but not a lot of success in the long run. Time is called as there's some technical difficulties as music starts playing as the bat goes on. Interesting call here is now we have one guy doing the scoreboard, the public address announcing, and the sound director, so sometimes it can get a little bit confusing here at OCC Stadium for some of us interns who are trying to work hard. First pitch to the lefty, Corbin Paxton, is outside. The count's 1-0.
You guys are doing a great job, by the way.
I really appreciate that. It means a lot. Thank you so much. Paxton against the righty Zavada, facing a 1-0 count with one away. The pitch. Fastball inside, actually clips the leg of Corbin Paxton. He's going to walk over to first and get there on the hit by pitch. It's a base runner for the Flames with one away in the bottom of the sixth inning. And the Flames have just been getting on base any way they can so far, whether it be walking, getting a clutch base hit, or even just wearing one for the team.
Oh, yeah. Against any team in this league, they're going to have some good quality pitchers go up against it. So you got to do whatever you can to get on base.
And Mike Ruggiero into pinch hit for Jake Evans, who finishes the day 1 for 1 with a single and a walk. He came around to score in the fifth. And Ruggiero taking his place. The first pitch misses inside, and the count's 1-0. Ruggiero heading into today has an improved batting average from the start of the season, getting closer to 200 after hovering around the 110, 120 mark for quite some time this year. The 1-0 pitch is a cold strike on the outside corner. The count's evened up at 1-1. So Ruggiero is out of Wagner College. He's been playing a lot when Evans is playing. Today, he comes in as his replacement as the Flames have a big lead here in the bottom of the sixth inning, ahead 4-1 over the Sulcats. The 0-1 is a fastball missing high. It was 1-1, and the count's now 2-1 here to Ruggiero. Two balls, one strike to Mike Ruggiero. Leading off of first base is Corbin Paxton, taking a moderate lead, not too big. He's not a big base stealer. And out of the stretch, Zavada deals. The 2-1's a fastball on the outside corner, and the count evens up at 2-2. So a 2-2 count here to Mike Ruggiero. The pitch. Fastball just misses outside. Count moves to full 3-2. And Ruggiero, one of the many hitters on this Flame squad who have worked to a full count so far today. Very successful so far. A couple have struck out, but a lot of them have been able to work walks. Payoff. Cut on and miss for strike 3. Ruggiero goes down on strikes. It's the second strikeout of the game for Logan Zavada, and there are 2 away in the bottom of the 6th, and the top of the order coming up in Jack Cherno. Zavada working a little bit quicker on the mound as he's getting more in a groove here. And any reason you're seeing a change in his approach possibly?
Yeah, just in general as a pitcher, once you get going throughout the game, maybe you get more comfortable with the strike zone or how the umpire's calling it, just in general.
That pitch is grounded on a chop right back to the first baseman Lawler. He touches the bag himself, and that retires the side. After 6 innings of play, still a 4-1 Flames lead here at OCC Stadium. New arm on the mound for the Onondaga Flames. It's Casey Kretsch, who's coming in, making his 5th appearance. I'm looking at the wrong person. It's his 8th appearance of the year, and Jeremy Taylor still in the broadcast booth with me. And now Mike Netzel finished the line score 6 innings. 6 innings of work, 6 hits, only 1 earned run, as the first pitch to Adam Holland to lead off the 7th is a called strike, and the count's 0-1 to him. What did you notice out of Mike today? What do you think he did well?
Pounded the strike zone, which is probably the most important thing. It always helps your team. Any time you can throw strikes. He only gave up 1 run in 6 innings, so it was a quality start. Did a great job of putting his team in position to win a ball game.
0-1 pitch missed inside, so the count evened up at 1-1 to Adam Holland, who enters this at bat 1 for 3 so far. Another breaking ball, a cold strike on the inside corner. Kretsch working well here ahead of the count, 1-2. And so Mike obviously had a couple of tough situations in that start. He had a couple of runners on base, sometimes always with less than 2 outs, able to work out. And the 1-2 pitch is chopped on the ground towards DiFilippo. He catches it on the run, fires it over to first, and it's off the glove of Paxton. And over covering behind him is Brian Hart. It's an they'll probably get charged as an E6 or an E5 or an E3. It's unclear from this angle. My guess is it would be charged as an E3, as it looked catchable from the part of Corbin Paxton. But either way, Holland is on first base with nobody out in the top of the 7th inning. And so, as I've been mentioning, Mike Netzel, he had a couple of rough points where he had 2 runners on base, less than 2 outs. What's important as a pitcher in order to get out of those situations?
If there's runners on, if running on first and second, no outs, whatever it is, as a pitcher, it's your job to minimize the inning. Give up 1 run or less. Worst case scenario, 2 runs, but your goal is always to give up 1 run or less in any inning that you pitch.
Casey Kretsch trying to avoid allowing the runner on first to score, as the first pitch to Xander Ferlenda is a called strike. He's behind the count 0-1, as Adam Holland taking a big lead off of first base. And now Casey's on the mound. He's had a good amount of play time this year. Last time he went out, he didn't have the best outing. He was gearing up to pitch after a long wait, as a pickoff attempt at first is no good. Holland is still safe. What are you looking for out of Casey today?
Yeah, just keep the tempo, keep the momentum on our side, just keep pounding the strike zone, let your defense work. Pretty simple.
And as a pitcher, it's important, I'm sure, to just have confidence in your offense to keep the lead for you and also in your defense to keep you safe. The 0-1 pitch misses outside, and the count's evened up at a ball and a strike. So, yeah, safe defense behind you.
Yeah.
You have a cushion from your offense. Having that confidence as a pitcher, how much does that really help you?
Oh, it makes a huge impact. If you don't think your defense can make plays behind you, you feel like you have to do it yourself, which could cause you to throw balls, be kind of wild. So if you have a strong defense behind you, it makes your job easier to throw strikes.
1-1 pitch is an attempted check swing by Ferlenda, but he breaks his wrist and goes around. So the count's 1-2 here. Holland still on first base as the Sulcats trail 4-1 in the top of the 7th inning, trying to get some runs back on the Flames after they put 3 runs in the bottom of the 5th. Double play depth here for the infield. Casey Crutch working out of the stretch. A pickoff attempt gets away from Corbin Paxton. It's another error for the Flames this inning. And cutting around second is Holland. He's going for third. The throw to third is way late. And Holland's in there with a 2-base steal off of the error by Casey Crutch on the mound.
Yeah, we're up 4-1. Hopefully Casey can minimize this inning. If that runner on third scores, the possibility of him doing that with 0 outs is kind of big. So if he minimizes it to 1 run this inning, that's still pretty quality inning based on the errors that we've had.
Obviously, the goal is to keep the runner from scoring, or at least to minimize the damage. But does your mentality change when you're facing a batter when there's runners on base with nobody out versus when there aren't any runners on base?
No, the only difference is you're either out of the windup or the stretch. But in the end, you got those strikes. At the end of the day, it's between you and your catcher.
1-2 to Ferlenda is a breaking ball called strike 3 on the outside corner. Ring it up for Xander Ferlenda. It's the first strikeout of the game for Casey Crutch. And there's one away, getting the first out, a huge part in keeping that runner from scoring on third.
Absolutely. Good job. Again, you got 1 out. So even if he can minimize, get a ground ball out here and the runner scores, no big deal. You still have a 2-run lead to work with.
And a big problem for the Flames here. And Sean Lawler, the left-handed hitter, going up against the righty Casey Crutch, hasn't been retired yet today. A pair of singles and a triple back in the 5th. Crutch working out of the stretch, looking at third base where Holland has a short lead. The first pitch, a fastball right over the middle, taken for strike 1. And so this guy's been doing well against Mike so far today. He's got 3 hits. That's half of the total for the entire team. Does the approach change when you know he's on a hot streak, or do you have to try to pitch away from him, or do you just have the same approach and keep confidence in what you have? And that one's ripped into left center field. Going back towards the warning track is Jack Cherno, and he makes a running catch near the track. Tagging up from third is Adam Holland. He'll score on the deep fly ball, and it cuts the lead to 4-2 for the Flames. But still, it's another out for Casey Crutch. That's got to be somewhat good for him there on the mound.
Yeah, he did exactly what he needed to do. All he needed to do is get that guy out. Now his base is cleared. He can focus on getting this guy out, getting out of the inning.
Sean Lawler brings in his second RBI of the day, second run of the team for the Syracuse Sulcats. And the first pitch, a breaking ball to Drew Patterson, is a cold strike, and he's behind the count 0-1. Actually, it's not Drew Patterson anymore. It's a pinch hitter for the Syracuse Sulcats. It's actually Chris Anderson coming up to bat. And the 0-1 misses low and away, and the count's even at a ball and a strike. So it's the third batter today to hit in the 4-hole. Fajardo started, came out in the second inning, replaced by Drew Patterson, who is now being replaced by Anderson. That one missing inside, and the count's 2-1. Infield playing regular positioning here with 2 away. A 2-1 count here to Anderson. The pitch. Ripped down the right side, giving heavy chase down the line is Colin Matthews, but that one cuts out of play, and so the count evens up at 2-2. And Anderson's goal is to stay alive here as a batter. What's the goal as a pitcher to try to get him out? Throw a strike to get him to chase maybe with a ball to work with, or maybe just try to get him to hit weak contact into the field?
Hitting weak contact would be better here in this situation.
And he hits hard contact right up the middle, past Casey Crutch on the mound into center field for a base hit. So a 2-out base runner here for the Sulcats, and that brings up the designated hitter Matthew Nurse, who comes out for his fourth plate appearance. He is 0 for 3 with a pair of groundouts and a swinging strikeout. So a pinch hit single here for Anderson has him on first base. 2 away. The Saltcats still down by 2 runs. The tying run represented by Nurs at the plate. First pitch fastball misses in the dirt. And the count's 1-0 here to Nurs. Nurs so far has had trouble working into good counts. He's been in 2-2, 2-0, 3-2. But he's never been able to come out the victor in any of his at-bats so far. 1-0. Ripped right into center field, taking a big step back is Jack Chernow. Makes a running catch over the shoulder, Willie Mays style, over the back shoulder, and that retires the side. Heading into the bottom of the 7th, Flames still have a 4-2 lead. So since Mike Netzel is also listed as the designated hitter, he can still bat even though he's no longer in the game as the pitcher. And the first pitch is a called strike on the inside corner. He's behind in the count 0-1. Huge thanks to Jeremy Taylor for coming to talk with me the last 2 half innings, including 1 half inning of stellar color commentary, I might add. And that one hits Mike Netzel in the head. That breaking ball didn't cut into the zone. Logan Zavada clearly feels bad about that. And now Mike Netzel walking to first base to lead off this inning. That's the second time Mike Netzel has reached base today, the other coming on a walk back in the 5th. And now Brian Hart coming up to bat. He's 0 for 2 today, a swinging strikeout, a fly out to left, a deep one at that, right in front of the wall, and a walk back in the 5th inning. So Brian Hart working from the right side against the righty. Logan Zavada, a short lead off of first base for Mike Netzel. Working from the stretch, Zavada deals. First pitch fastball catches the lower third of the plate, and he's behind the count, 0-1. So an 0-1 count to Brian Hart. Middle infield crowded towards second base. Double play opportunity available to them. And also a chance that Mike Netzel could try to steal. And he does try to steal as that one misses high and inside. The throw down is way late. And Mike Netzel's in there with a stolen base. Stellar performance so far on multiple fronts for Mike Netzel. He gets a stolen base there to go along with a walk and a hit by pitch and 6 innings of 1-run baseball on the mound. And now time is called as Dylan Nolan, the catcher, goes out to talk with his pitcher, Logan Zavada. Was in a tough spot here as now he has a runner in scoring position with no one away in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Flames have a chance to further expand on this lead with Brian Hart, the team leader, tied for the lead in RBIs with 21, up to bat with a runner in scoring position. Colin Matthews, another huge RBI threat on deck. Both middle infielders playing close to the second base bag, the 1-1. Breaking ball misses high and inside, so the count's 2 balls and a strike to Brian Hart. Netzel still taking a very moderate lead off of second base. Doesn't look anxious to steal third. A bunt attempt certainly possible here from Brian Hart. 2-1 is ripped down the right field line, but well into foul territory, slicing over the Salt Cats bullpen, so the count moves to 2-2. And so Hart back in the batter's box, crowding the plate from the right side. Matthews waiting anxiously on deck. 2-2. Chopped down the third base. Fielded on easy pop by Christian Nakari. He fires to first for the first out. So 1 away here for Cullen Matthews. Runner in scoring position. And with Cullen Matthews, he's played a lot of outfield so far. He's played a little bit of pitcher so far this season. He's been a pitcher for most of his life as well as an outfielder. Never till today had he donned catcher's gear. He donned them for the first time today as part of a I Challenge Nico Challenge the Onondaga Flames conducted, where Nico Tamarunian of NBC3, a local affiliate, tried to hit Chris Burnett's fastball. And according to the radar gun, Chris was hitting between 85 and 88. And Cullen Matthews essentially drew the short straw as Dylan Nolan goes out to talk with Zavada on the mound. He basically drew the short straw and donned the catcher's gear and got behind the plate, tried to catch. He said it was not a pleasant experience. It's not one he'd done before and not one he looks forward to doing again. He caught for Nico Tamarunian as he tried the challenge. He also caught for myself and Brandon Mikula, another one of the Flames interns, as we took a shot at taking a crack at Chris Burnett's fastball. You can see how we did when we post the video later tonight, either at the wee hours of the morning or just before midnight. It will go on our social media. The first pitch to Matthews is a ball in the dirt. It again catches Dylan Nolan right where no one wants to be hit. That's the second ball to the groin tonight for Dylan Nolan. Certainly not optimal. He is taking another long walk down the first base line. After that, you could give him about 2 minutes of rest. That's just brutal. There's just no other way to describe it. It's just painful to see as a fellow man, watching your fellow man, even if he is on the opposing team, taking a shot like that. He's going to tough it out, get back in the catcher's box with Cullen Matthews at the plate and Mike Netzel leading off of second base. A 1-0 count here from Zavada with 1 away. Flames manning a 2-run lead, a chance to explode that even more here. 1-0. Fastball catches the inside corner, and so the count's 1-1 to Cullen Matthews. So far today for Matthews, a single, a double, and a pop out to first base, a total of 2 RBIs and a run scored. Zavada out of the stretch, looks back at second base. Netzel has a big lead, the 1-1. Ripped down the right side, down the line, slicing just foul. And the count's going to move to 1-2, very close to the line there, but that one just cut about 6 feet right of the foul line. So the count moves to 1-2 on Matthews, who's trying to extend the Flames' 4-2 lead in the bottom of the 7th inning. A.J. DiFilippo, the left-handed hitter, waiting on deck for the Flames. Middle infielders crowding behind the second base bag as Netzel has a big lead. Time is called at home plate as Matthews steps out of the batter's box. So Zavada was on the mound when all 3 runs scored last inning, but none of them were charged to him. All of them were charged to Bryce Cundiff, who left the runners on base. 1-2 fastball misses outside, so the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cundiff went an inning of third. 3 runs, all of them earned. 5 walks, 1 strikeout. No hits. He did not give up a single hit, yet still managed to walk 5 and allow 3 runs. 2-2 to Matthews. Fastball cut on a miss down the inside corner. That one's a tough pitch to get around on regardless of who the hitter is. And now 2 away here in the bottom of the 7th inning for A.J. DiFilippo. Third strikeout of the game for the pitcher on the mound, Logan Zavada. And now that brings up A.J. DiFilippo for his fourth plate appearance. 0 for 3 so far, pair of groundouts and a flyout to left. First pitch fastball misses just inside, so the count's 1-0. Netzel's been waiting there on second base since the start of this inning when there were nobody out. There are 2 away here, and a single could bring him around to score. 1-0. Fastball misses outside. Counts now 2-0. Zavada's trying to vary up his pitch location, going a little bit inside, a little bit outside. So far, neither is working for him. He's plunked a pair of batters so far in his time on the mound. And the 2-0 fastball is a called strike. Finally, a strike on the board for Logan Zavada, and the count's 2-1. Netzel again with the lead off of second base. 2-1 count, 2 away. Flames with a 4-2 lead. The pitch. Fastball misses high and outside. Count now 3 balls and 1 strike to DiFilippo. If he walks, it's 2 runners on base with 2 away for Joe Navenchi, who's waiting in the on-deck circle with his leg gear of the catcher's equipment on in case the inning ends and he wants a quick change into his equipment. Three-one. Chopped down the first base line, fielded on the run by Sean Baller. He taps the first base bag, and that will retire the side. Flames don't go down 1-2-3. Mike Netzel is stranded in scoring position at the end of 7 innings of play. The Flames lead the Sulcats 4-2. Christian Nakari leads off the top of the 8th for the Syracuse Sulcats as there's a couple of changes in the field for the Onondaga Flames. Jarek Grosguth replaces A.J. DiFilippo at third base, And on the mound now for the Onondaga Flames, replacing Casey Kretsch, is Jimmy Flahive. And the first pitch to Christian Nakari is inside, gets him on the elbow guard. Not a great start on the mound for Jimmy Flahive. He hits a batter with his first pitch, and Nakari will walk over to the first base bag. Base runner on with no one away here for the Syracuse Sulcats. That brings up Chris Coates. At least he is due up. Let's see if he actually comes up to bat. And it's not going to be the case. Not Chris Coates. It's a pinch hitter for the Sulcats. It's actually Michael DeFusco coming in, hitting 150 out of South Virginia University.
Now pinch batting.
Jimmy Flahive heading into today's contest, the lowest ERA of any pitcher in the NYCBL at .83. Looks over to first. The first pitch to Michael DeFusco is outside, and the count 1-0. Hit batsman's been a problem today for both sides. Mike Netzel of the Onondaga Flames got hit in the head last inning. And that one hits Michael DeFusco in the back. Back-to-back hit batsman for Jimmy Flahive on the mound. He seems to be having quite the control problem out there. As now Mike Gorman pinch hits for the Syracuse Sulcats. He replaces Michael Ray at shortstop. Michael Ray finishes the day 0 for 3 with a ground out, a strikeout, and a fielder's choice. And Gorman out of Iona College hitting around 269. A very nice batting average to start this campaign. Heading into the final stretch after the All-Star break. And so pitching coach Robert Andrews goes out to talk with Jimmy Flahive after he hit 2 batters in a row to start off his appearance. Gorman will confer with a third base coach. And Jimmy Flahive is not known for his lack of control. He's one of the most disciplined players in this entire league when it comes to control on the mound. Flahive in his 22 innings, only 13 walks. And I actually oversold his ERA at the start. It's .81. And the mound meeting ends as now Gorman will finally step into the right-handed batter's box to take on the lefty side-armor Jimmy Flahive. It's 2 on, no one out here in the top of the 8th for the Syracuse Sulcats. Flames trying to protect their 4-2 lead. Jared Grosguth and Corin Paxton, the third baseman and first baseman respectively, playing on the infield grass as DeFusco shows bunt, pulls back as that one's inside, and the count's 1-0. It's Mike Gorman at the plate now. DeFusco's on first base, and Christian Nakari on second. 1-0. Fastball, a called strike right over the middle, and the count evens up at 1-1. Mike Gorman likely will substitute a straight sub at shortstop for Michael Ray in the bottom half of the inning. Flahive looks back at second base, a 1-1 count to Gorman. That pitch misses just below the knees, and the count moves to 2-1. Dugout trying to motivate Jimmy Flahive after he gave up 2 hit batsmen to lead off this inning. And now there are 2 runners on with no away. A tight spot that Mike Netzel and Casey Kretsch have so far been able to get out of. And Gorman at the plate represents the go-ahead run. Looking back to second, Flahive deals the 2-1. Cut on him, missed on the outside corner. Gorman couldn't get around on that fastball outside, and the count moves to 2-2. A double play opportunity open with 2 on first and second base and nobody out. That would be an optimal scenario for the Flames. And the other one is that one, a swinging strike 3 for Mike Gorman. He gets set down on strikes, the first of the night for Jimmy Flahive. And now with 1 away, that brings up Dylan Nolan, who is not doing so great tonight himself. 0 for 2, a ground out to first, a fly out to left, and a walk back in the 4th inning. And now the double play, a real possibility here for the Flames. It could get them out of the inning. As Nolan, the catcher, staying in for the long haul today. He's already caught 7 innings behind the plate, and the first pitch is ripped foul back towards the netting behind home plate. He's behind 0-1. Right-handed hitter Nolan, among the weaker hitters on this team, a chance to be productive here. A single would bring in a run and cut the Flames' lead in half to 4-3. And the 0-1 fastball misses high, counts knotted up at 1. The Saltcats so far have out-hit the Flames by quite a bit, 7 hits to 3, but it's getting the runs around that count the most. As Joe Navenchi goes out to talk to Jimmy Flahive on the mound. So far today, the Syracuse Saltcats have left 9 runners on base through 7 innings. If both runners are left on base here, that moves the number up to 11 through 8. Leaving runners on base is usually the kryptonite issue for the Onondaga Flames, but not tonight, as they've also left a few runners on base themselves, and their total right now through these innings is 8 through the first 7. But so far they have the lead. 1-1 fastball misses inside, so the count's now 2-1 on Nolan. Infielders looking for the double play here. It's Nakari off of second base, DeFusco off of first. 2-1 is ripped into right field down the foul line. Giving chase to that one in right field is Colin Matthews, and he slides but can't make it there in time. That one lands about a foot in front of him, and the count's 2-2. Colin Matthews always wanted to give intense effort out in the field and in the batter's box. He's shown some performance today at the plate with a single and a double, driving in a pair of runs that is providing the cushion the Flames have in the lead right now. And also a few diving catches to his name so far this year. He also has a spectacular arm that he's flashed at times this year. In particular, a throw from close to the warning track to get a runner tagging to third over at Blank Fitness Field, the home of the Spartans. 2-2 fastball is called. Strike 3 on the outside corner. Clutch strikeout for Jimmy Flahive. He strikes out the second batter in a row. And this one looking as the first one went down swinging. And it's now the top of the order, and Adam Holland due up for the Saltcats with 2 away and 2 runners on, down by 2 in the top of the 8th. Jimmy Flahive on the verge of getting out of quite the jam. He had hit the first 2 batters of this inning. It was 1 runners on first and second with nobody out. And now it's the same positions with 2 out and a chance to retire Holland to end the inning here. Holland, the right-handed batter, stepping in against the lefty Flahive. Flahive looking back at second base, looking over to first, no one covering. First pitch fastball misses high and outside to Holland, and he's ahead in the count 1-0. It's Brian Hart at second base covering the bag, where Christian Akari has a pretty substantial lead. And a throw over to second base is very interesting to say the least. It's not in time. Jimmy Flahive anticipated a cover of second base. He turned around to make the throw. He realized that Brian Hart wasn't covering and threw it on a bounce to exactly where he was standing, about 15 feet to the right of the second base bag. Good awareness by Jimmy Flahive on the mound to avoid committing an error that could have moved both runners into scoring position and possibly even brought one around to score. Holland crowding the plate here. A 1-0 count with 2 away, 2 on, and down by 2. That fastball misses high and outside, so the count's 2-0 to Adam Holland as he's trying to keep the inning alive and possibly get something done. Holland presents the go-ahead run at the plate. Big lead off first from an uncovered Michael DeFusco. No coverage at second, the 2-0. Fastball misses high and outside, 3-0. Jimmy Flahive in danger of walking the bases loaded.
Come on, Jimmy!
In a tight situation like this where the Saltcats are down by 2 runs, I would not be surprised to see Adam Holland with the green light. 3-0. Fastball misses high for ball 4. And now 4 balls, gets the bases loaded for the Syracuse Selcats. And pitching coach Robert Anders again going out to talk to Jimmy Flahive. And he may very well be done here. The bases are loaded with 2 away. A spectacular comeback to make this inning work. And it looks like his day is over. A stellar comeback outing for Jimmy Flahive, but he can't finish the job. We'll tell you who takes his place when we come back. Replacing Jimmy Flahive on the mound now is Nick Garcia. He pitched in the All-Star game a few days ago. Pitching the 4th inning, was sitting between 89 and 91 miles an hour. First pitch to Xander Ferlenda is a pitch that misses high, and the count's 1-0. The bases are loaded behind Garcia. Jimmy Flahive gave up 3 walks to get them all on base. Any run that scores on the base paths right now would be charged to Flahive. He finished 2/3 of an inning, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. No earned runs as of now, but as I said, if any of the runs on base score, then they are charged to Flahive and not Garcia. 1-0 count here to Ferlenda, the pitch. Fastball, a called strike right on the outside corner, and the count's evened up at 1-1. Ferlenda entering this at-bat 1 for 4. A ground out, a pop out, a strikeout, and a single back in the 3rd. After when he singled, he got stranded at second base. One of the many runners left on base for the Syracuse Selcats. If all these runners get left on base as a result of this inning, their total for the game would go up to 12. And the Flames haven't done so well with runners on base either. They've had 8 left on base so far today. And their magical number seems to be 10 for what seems to be a guaranteed loss if they reach the number of runners left on base. As of right now, they're at 8. The Selcats at 9. They have the bases loaded here with 2 away. A 1-1 count on Xander Ferlenda. Garcia, the righty, working against the righty Ferlenda. Fastball, a cold strike right down the middle. And the count moves to 1-2. Garcia making his 10th appearance of the year. He comes in with 10 1/3 innings pitch, a 1.74 ERA. Music starts playing again erroneously at the stadium. It's kind of difficult, and all good credit to Morgan Chapman, who's trying the best to make things work tonight. He is now manning scoreboard sound director, which is responsible for playing all the walk-up songs, and managing PA, which involves keeping up with the pitches, marking what everyone does, keeping tracks of people who are substituting. That's a lot to handle at once. 1-2, fastball. That one just misses low and away, and the count's evened up at 2-2. Two and two count, 2 away. Bases loaded at top of the 8th inning. Nick Garcia, a chance to get out of here. 2-2 is ripped into shallow center field, giving chase into the gap is Jack Cherno. He'll make the catch on the run after dodging out of the way of an incoming Cullen Matthews, and that retires the side. All 3 runners are stranded on base for the Syracuse Silkcats. Now 12 left on base for them in the game. Heading into the bottom of the 8th, Flames still lead 4-2. As Joe Navenchi gets set to lead off the bottom of the 8th inning for the Onondaga Flames, it's a new pitcher on the mound for the Silkcats in Nate Fiala, a left-handed pitcher, a right-handed pitcher out of East Stroudsburg University. Fiala coming into this ball game. 7 games, 13 innings of work, a 3.46 ERA. Navenchi coming up for his 4th plate appearance. First pitch to him, a fastball, a called strike right over the middle, and he's behind in the count 0-1. Navenchi, a looking strikeout victim back in the 5th. He walked back in the 4th. That pitch, a breaking ball, doesn't cut into the zone. Well, actually, it does cut into the zone. My apologies. Did not see the call of a strike, and the count's 0-2. And then back in the 2nd, he grounded out and scored a run. That pitch inside near his feet, and the count moves to 1-2. Navenchi has done a great job there behind the plate, manning the backstop for all the pitchers tonight, and the 1-2 pitch is cut on and missed. And so I was right the first time. It is a 2-2 count now. Sometimes the scoreboard, as I said, Morgan Chapman is really overworked tonight. Give him all the props in the world for giving all that effort. That breaking ball misses inside, so the count's full at 3-2. Eventually crowding the plate a little more here on a 3-2 count. The payoff from Fiala. Fastball called, strike through. Actually, no. Very confusing signs from the home plate umpire, who gives a little bit of a wave. Like he puts out his arm to the right side. It could have been misconstrued, which it was misconstrued by me, as a ring up for strike 3. Instead, he was waving Navenchi over to first base, and head coach Mike Martinez for the Syracuse Silkcats is furious, arguing balks and strikes with the home plate umpire right now. very unhappy. The field umpire talking to Nate Fiala, who is also very upset with the call. Jabbering at Navenchi on first base. Coming into pinch run for the Onondaga Flames is Adam Gordon. Frustration still high. Mike Martinez finally going back to the Selcats dugout. Adam Gordon coming into pinch run for Navenchi. Gordon known as a stellar base runner for this Flames ball club heading into today's contest, and as of right now, he's 5 for 6 on stolen bases. But his agility on the bases are a lot better than what shows on the stolen base statistics sheet. Any pass ball he can see right out of the hand, and he advances before anyone could even notice it. Sometimes we question if he has 5 stolen bases because it has to seem as if something along those lines, it just had to be. So now up to bat is Mike Stefan, and Gordon, again, undercharged probably for the stolen bases. He advances a lot more bases. He's advanced a lot many more times than 5, and probably not a lot of them were actually pass balls or wild pitches. First pitch to Mike Stefan is a called strike. He's behind 0-1. Stefan, a switch hitter working from the left side against the righty Nate Fiala. Gordon with a moderate lead off of the first base bag, growing a couple inches as he sets. He goes, the ball is chopped on the ground towards second. It gets through Ferlenda, and that goes in the outfield. That's not a base hit. That is an E4. Holding up at third base is Adam Gordon. It's a reach on an error by Xander Ferlenda, and now first and third here with nobody out in the bottom of the 8th for the Onondaga Flames. If Gordon wasn't stealing there, that's another reason that he's been sort of caught behind in all of this. He would steal a lot of bases, and it's a lot of hit and runs. It's a part of the aggressive base running strategy that these Flames have employed many a time so far this year. And Stefan, after reaching on an E4, that brings up Corbin Paxton for his 4th plate appearance. First pitch to him, a breaking ball called strike on the inside corner. He's behind 0-1. Paxton, a fly out into shallow center caught by the shortstop. A 3 unassisted, and a hit by pitch. Also minding the defensive changes. That one's laid down a bunt. Nolan tries to get that one behind the plate, but can't get around to it, and the count's 0-2. Mike Gorman comes in at shortstop for the Selcats. Presumably out in right field is Chris Anderson, and out in left field, it's Michael DeFusco. Or perhaps someone else. I'm not exactly sure. Michael DeFusco listed as an infielder. I cannot see left field from all the way out here, and we don't have a set of binoculars to work with. Time is called here. It's nobody out. Runners on first and third. 0-2 count here to Corbin Paxton. From the stretch, Fiala deals. 0-2, cut on and miss, strike 3. Paxton goes down on strikes for the first time today. It's the first strikeout on the mound for Nate Fiala, and there's one away here in the bottom of the 8th. And Mike Ruggiero now coming up for his second at-bat, struck out swinging against then pitcher Bryce Cundiff. Actually, excuse me, that was then Logan Zavada, who has been replaced by Fiala on the mound. And Ruggiero crowding the plate here with runners on first and third and one out. First pitch fastball, a called strike on the outside corner. Ruggiero behind in the count 0-1. Ferlenda's error, if it had not occurred, it could have very well been a double play. Unlikely, Gordon had been speeding towards second base, but it could be 2 outs and a runner on third instead. 0-1, cut and missed on the outside corner. Ruggiero couldn't make contact there, and the count's 0-2. Ruggiero finally getting back into the swing of things after pulling his hamstring in the opening week of the season. He went home for about 7 or 8 days, finally came back after a few different therapeutic treatments. As the 0-2 pitch is cut on and missed for strike 3, he goes down on strikes. A pair of strikeouts for Fiala now has it 2 away in the bottom of the 8th, and the top of the order coming up in Jack Cherno. Ruggiero hasn't gotten so much of his skills back, but he's clearly doing well in the field. He's made a couple of pitching appearances even, and his batting average is slowly but surely recovering, as now Jack Cherno working from the left side against the righty Nate Fiala. Still first and third, now 2 away. Flames still with a 4-2 lead. And the runner on first, Mike Stefan, goes without even a pitch thrown. It's a successful stolen base for Mike Stefan. How about that? Mike Stefan advances without even a throw from the pitcher on the mound, Nate Fiala. It was an attempt to keep tabs on Adam Gordon at third base. And now 2 runners in scoring position, and a single could double the Flames' lead to 4. Fiala with no count here to Jack Cherno. First pitch. Cherno lays down a bunt, popped in the air, lands in front of second base, and he gets in there with an infield single. Adam Gordon scores. It's now a 5-2 ball game. A spectacular push bunt from Jack Cherno, pushing it right in front of second base, who was covering the first base bag on the bunt. And that one landed in a spot where no one could really field it. An infield single and an RBI for Jack Cherno. And now it's a pinch hitter here for the Onondaga Flames. Mike Netzel is done for the day finally. He ends the game with a walk, a hit by pitch, a stolen base, a fly out, and a ground out to shortstop. McLean O'Connor hitting in his place from the right side. The first pitch, a ball called outside. The count 1-0. O'Connor, the latest arrival of the people originally slated to be on this team. And he's just a stud. 314, 11 games, 9 RBIs, 2 home runs, 2 doubles, and a triple. And to top it all off, he pitched last night and successfully picked off the shortstop on the other team. That coming in an exhibition matchup against the Capital City Reds. The 1-0 is cut on and missed. And on the pitch, going to second base is Jack Cherno. And so now it's Mike Stefan on third base and Jack Cherno on second as a result of the stolen base. And so the count's 1-1 here to McLean O'Connor. 1-1. Fastball, a called strike, and O'Connor behind in the count, 1-2.
Let's go, McLean.
McLean O'Connor in the batter's box, 1-2 count, 2 in scoring position, and 2 away for the Onondaga Flames. Pitch. Skied high to the right side, foul territory behind home plate and out of play. No one thought he could get there, but he definitely had no chance. And so the count's still 1-2 to McLean O'Connor.
Did it bounce over the fence? Yep. I knew you would have went and got it. I was going to race you to it.
O'Connor back in the batter's box, 2 in scoring position, 2 away. A 3-run lead for the Flames. The pitch, a fastball called, strike 3. McLean O'Connor unhappy, but that retires the side. The Flames now ahead 5-2 after 8 innings of play, and the Flames have a chance to top it off here in the top of the 9th. Sean Lawler to lead things off for the Syracuse Saltcats in the top of the ninth. Nick Garcia staying out, trying to get the 6-out save. Excuse me, it would be the 4-out save. As the first pitch is a ball missing outside. The count 1-0. It gets away from Trace Peterson, who has replaced Joe Navenchi behind the plate after Navenchi was pinch run for in the bottom half of the 8th. Garcia has made a lot of relief appearances this season, has a couple of saves already under his belt. This would be number 3, and the 1-0 is a cold strike, and the count moves to 1-1. Lawler so far today hasn't gone down without fights. 2 singles, a triple, and a sacrifice fly for a total of 2 runs batted in. 1-1 is a pitch on the outside corner, just called the ball, and the count's 2-1. Sean Lawler, the best hitter of the day so far. The rest of the team hasn't materialized. So far, the Saltcats have left 12 runners on base. That one ripped right back up the middle, out of the reach of Garcia. Fielded in the corner by Brian Hart. He can't make the throw over in time, though. And now that's an RBI. It's a leadoff single here for Sean Lawler in the top of the 9th inning. The last chance for the Saltcats to get back in this ball game. And now Chris Anderson up for his second at-bat. He singled his first time up. Got stranded at first after Matthew Nurz flew out to center. First pitch to Anderson is a swinging strike. On that pitch, Chris Anderson was way behind on the fastball inside. He couldn't get around on it anywhere near. And the count's 0-1. 0-1. Fastball, a called strike on the outside corner, and the count goes to 0-2. Oh, 2 count here to Chris Anderson. Runner on first. Flames with a 5-2 lead. Nobody away. And now that one misses just inside. Gets away from Trace Peterson. He keeps it in front of him. And the count moves to 1-2. A couple of big games happening right now. There's this one between the Flames and Saltcats, obviously. A lot of eyes around the Major League Baseball world centered on the Yankees and Orioles game. Right now, Manny Machado coming up for his 4th at-bat of the night against the New York Yankees. Very well could be a Yankee by tomorrow. And the 1-2 misses high, and the count moves to 2-2. The rumors right now are that the Yankees have made an incredibly strong offer for Machado, and that it would not include Justice Sheffield, which was seen as a must-have earlier in the day. The 2-2 is cut on and missed for strike 3. The Saltcats now down to their final 2 outs as Nick Garcia picks up his 3rd strikeout.
Now batting the designated hitter, Matt Nurz.
Nurz now up to bat with 1 away. 3 strikeouts for Nick Garcia. It's an attempt here for the 7-out save. Excuse me, no, I am still wrong. It is a 4-out save. My apologies. That's the first strikeout of the game for Nick Garcia. That one outside. The count 1-0 to Nurz. Checking the out-of-town scoreboard around the NYCBL, the Rome Generals took down the Sherrill Silversmiths 11-5 at home. Our game is still ongoing. The 1-0. Fastball, a cold strike right over the middle. Count moves to 1-1. Elsewhere around the league, the Cortland Crush defeated the Syracuse Spartans at home 8-3. The Wellsville Nitros fell to the Olean Oilers at home 4-3. Rochester Ridgeman and the Genesee Rapids are in the bottom of the 9th inning. Ridgeman down to their final 3 outs as they trail 4-1. The 1-1 is skied foul down the right field line, so the count moves to 1-2 on Matthew Nurz. And the final matchup going on right now in the top of the 8th between the Niagara Power and Hornell Dodgers in the Western Division. The Niagara Power lead the Hornell Dodgers 16-8. As of right now, The Onondaga Flames, after the Spartans lost a game and a half in front of first place. That one ripped into right center field on the 1-2 count. Running in, and a diving attempt by Jack Cherno is no good. Advancing to second on the single is Sean Lawler. It's a single with one away here for the Syracuse Sulcats. That was a very close play over in right center field. Jack Cherno laying it all on the line, but coming up just short. Not too much damage, though, as only one runner advances just by one base. But now 2 on with 1 away for Christian Nakari, who is 1 for 2 on the day. A hit by pitch, a walk, a single, and a pop out. He's got 2 runners on base. He represents the tying run at the plate. One, 2 is a foul back. Excuse me, that was the first pitch. The scoreboard's still not quite up to date. That's my apology. I should know what the count is. Count's 0-1 to Christian Nakari. Still 1 away against the Syracuse Sulcats. They're down to their final 2 outs, down by 3 runs. It's Lawler off of second, Ners off of first. 0-1 pitch gets away from Trace Peterson behind the plate, and both runners advance. So now 2 runners in scoring position for the Sulcats, and it's a 1-1 count here to Matthew Ners. It's a little bit more of a dangerous situation here for Nick Garcia, who now has to deal with 2 runners in scoring position. But this is not the first time he had to deal with it. When he came in last inning, he came in with 2 away and the bases loaded, and he was able to get the final out. One count to Christian Nakari. It's chopped on the ground towards second, fielded with his front hand by Brian Hart. He flips it over to first in time for the out. There's now 2 away. A run comes to score for the Sulcats. It's now 5-3. The Flames still lead by 2 as the Sulcats are now down to their final out.
Now batting for the Sulcats, number 2, Michael DeFusco.
And Michael DeFusco coming up for his second plate appearance today after the ground out by Christian Nakari. He comes up after getting hit by a pitch his first time up, leading off the 8th inning. First pitch to him, a fastball, a called strike, and he's behind in the count, 0-1. It's currently Matthew Ners on third base. 0-1 is fouled into the glove of Trace Peterson, and the count moves to 0-2. Sulcats down to their final strike. Garcia facing Michael DeFusco. 0-2 count, 2 away, runner on third, a 2-run lead for the Flames. The pitch, cut on and missed, strike 3. Nick Garcia gets the 4-out save, and the Flames win this one 5-3 over the Sulcats. They end the season series with Syracuse ahead 5-3, and the Flames are now 2 games ahead of Sherrill and Syracuse in the Eastern Division. The Syracuse team 2 games behind is the Spartans. The Sulcats now fall to 5 games back, actually 5.5 games back. And welcome to the post-game show. 5-3 is the final score here. 3 runs on 9 hits and 1 error for the Syracuse Sulcats. Meanwhile, the Flames 5 runs on only 4 hits and 2 errors. The Flames left 8 runners on base. That's something that usually is a death sentence for them. The death sentence threshold is usually 10. But having 8 runners left on base is usually not helpful. Thankfully for them, the Sulcats left even more. They left 12 runners on base, including a bases-loaded situation in the top of the 8th inning. And the Flames heading into tomorrow now, a big cushion for first place in the Eastern Division, and a chance to get further ahead heading into the final stretch. Tomorrow is an off day for the Onondaga Flames, and when they come back, they will take on the Sherrill Silversmiths. Once again, I'm Brandon Ross. Thank you for joining me. The final score here from OCC Stadium, the Flames win 5-3.